Athletes are always challenging themselves to get better. You've seen this in all sports. Esports is no exception. You can never predict the outcome. The only thing you can control is how ready you are. Over and over, players adapt, trying to improve, fighting hard for every percent gained. Give everything you've got to the challenge and show your finest. Bring your best out. Strive for perfection. It's our goal too.
Hello PUBG Esports fans. The PUBG Global Invitational.S, our biggest tournament yet, begins in February. With a tournament this big, there's a lot to take in. So let's take a look at the format and rules of PGI.S 2021. PGI.S's main event, the weekly series, will be held for a total of 6 weeks starting from February 8th. It is divided into the weekly survival taking place on weekdays and the weekly final held over the weekend. Unlike the previous global tournaments, points are not accumulated week over week, giving every team the same fighting chance each week. Weekly Survival features 16 matches held across 3 weekdays. The goal for teams is simple: win a single chicken dinner. Once you win, you stop playing and move on to the weekly final. The next team on the waitlist takes your place and a new match begins. This list is determined by ranked decision matches to decide the order our 32 teams participate. These 24 deciding matches take place over 3 days starting from February 5th and will divide our teams into 4 different groups. The top 16 teams from these groups face off in the weekly survival matches first. The weekly final is more like the PUBG Esports you're used to. 10 matches are held across 2 days, and points the teams earn are added up to decide their final ranking for the week. The 16 teams that played in the weekly final get the first shot at next week's weekly survival, and the remaining 16 teams decide their placement on the waitlist during a bottom 16 match held every Saturday, before the weekly final. From there, the cycle continues throughout the tournament. One of the big differences with PGI.S is that instead of receiving prize money based on your final rank is determined by how much prize money you've won. We're awarding prize money every week, and the team who has collected the most at the end will be crowned our PGI.S champion. Here's how it breaks down. The first 8 teams to win a weekly survival match each week take home an automatic cash prize, earning more the sooner they win. From there, the winners of the weekly finals tournament get an even bigger cash prize. The first place prize being $25,000 on week 1, and growing to an astounding $500,000 by week 6, giving teams lots of opportunity to catch up and claim the title. Winning isn't the only way teams are earning cash though. 30% of the total profit made from PGI.S item sales goes back to participating teams. This money will be distributed based on the percentage of money each team won in the tournament, with bigger rewards for the higher performing teams. So, not only do you get cool skins and voting coupons to earn even more cool skins, but you're also helping your favorite teams bring home more well-deserved prize money. Win-win! That about wraps up our overview of the PUBG Global Invitational.S. Initial ranking decisions happen on February 5th, and the first official matches kick off on February 8th. So be sure to tune in, pick your winners, and cheer on your favorite teams across 8 weeks of intense PUBG action.
And welcome back to day number 2 of the week 3 reseeding matches for the bottom 16 teams in this PGI.S. I am Porosaurus. Joining me on the desk today is Clover and Godspeed, and we are here to bring you through the final 4 games of what has been pretty much the meta show and the Petrichor show up until this point, Clover.
Yeah, you know, we kind of touched on it before the game started yesterday that we really wanted to see Meta step it up, and they've definitely brought us, as you said, this show. And this is the team that I think we've really been expecting performance-wise from them thus far in the event. The question, of course, is, was yesterday just a flash in the pan, or are we going to see that continuation today?
Well, it's a question we've had a couple of times now, because we've also seen Meta do really well in the reseeding games last time around. And then again, they find themselves here. Godspeed. You know, obviously we want to keep an eye on the top of the leaderboard because it's interesting and we want to see who comes out in first. But at this time, now that we've got 4 games left, we probably should start paying attention a little bit to the bottom half of the leaderboard as well. And right now, a really surprising name down there in 16th place.
Why don't you tell me about them, Poro? I'm just kidding.
Wow.
I do quickly relax. I do quickly want to touch upon Meta because, as you said, they did well previously in the bottom 16, but they still kind of struggled to make it into the weekly survival, which is, again, while they're back in the bottom 16. However, that being said, Poro, I think Meta has been absolutely incredible. We've been talking about their communication not breaking down the way that they had before. We also speculated as to how that communication is actually working because of Wicked being on that team. But I just really think that Sparking has been able to kind of hold that together with Sills. Sills has been playing amazing support as well, and I wanted to give him some credit there.
Well, lest we lay anybody else out on the line without all the proper information, here are your current standings. See Meta and Petrichor up there in 59 and 51 points respectively, but all the way down in 16th, we have Infantry Gaming with only 10 points collected so far. Now, they've got some company pretty close to them, Clover. Attack All Around, TSM, Furia, Buriram, Digital Athletics, teams that we may not have really expected to see. I mean, had it not been for that final game, DA might be down there.
Yeah, I mean, DA really was pretty much down there up until the last match, and their performance on game number 4 yesterday skyrocketed them up into 11th place. And we can see just how close it is in terms of points for every team that's not in first and second. So one good game could shuffle Infantry up to 3rd. It could also send Damwon Kia down below. And so I think it's just going to show how exciting these matches will continue to be today.
Any teams that are really kind of catching your eye on this one, Godspeed?
Yeah, actually, the first question you asked me, which was Infantry. This is a team that generally is very aggressive and very good in the way that they control the edge of the circle, but unfortunately, we've seen them on the edge a lot, but they haven't been able to have the same effect that they've had, previously. I don't think they're in a slump. I think maybe yesterday was just kind of a series of some bad games, but yeah, seeing them in 16th is definitely not what I would have expected, especially in the lobby of bottom 16.
Lots of interesting stories, lots of people to keep our eyes on. Obviously, this is the 2 from yesterday. Petrichor Clover yesterday showed moments of absolute brilliance. Obviously we're putting most of the focus on Meta because they're in first, but I mean, it's not like they're in first by that much. Petrichor was right behind them the whole way.
Petrichor looks so good right now. I mean, the plays that they're pulling off, the movement together, you can tell that communication is definitely at an all-time high. And I don't know if it's just that we're a couple of weeks into this now and they've gotten more comfortable with the format, but there wasn't really a team that looked like was a problem for them yesterday. They really were being proactive, taking on fights, playing the edge, and still kind of pulling back when they needed to keep themselves up alive. In fact, I mean, I could really say the same for Meta, and these are the 2 teams that we really wanted to see growth from, and that's, just so exciting to see. They're playing great PUBG right now.
Well, I want to touch on a team that I know is near and dear to your heart, Godspeed, as we see our setup for today. 2 Miramar, 2 Erangel to finish off the day. But what is going on with Sonics? They are sitting in 4th place. Fantastic. One of those games with the first place with 12 kills with 22 points. They only got 4 points the rest of the day.
Yeah, look, I don't think there's anything wrong with the Sonics. I just feel like they're not getting some of the points that they should be getting, especially on the edge clears. That being said, they're getting in a lot of multi-team fights, and I don't think it's by their own volition. I mean, they're getting crash third-party constantly. I'm not trying to make excuses for them, but I also don't want to say that they're playing poorly. No, there are no excuses. I'm just saying they're not playing poorly, but yeah, you could definitely say that they could be playing better, but it's just it's rough, man. I think the Sonics should come out and they should at least finish in the top 5 here, but they really need to make it into the next weekly survival at the very least, just so they can start getting some money, man.
That would be nice. Everybody is here for that one big thing, and it's going to be the money. Now, Miss Clover, we had a couple of teams down here in this lobby that were looking pretty good as far as money is concerned. And that was it was most specifically 4 a.m. Sitting at the top. And now they're sitting currently in 9th place with 18 points. Has the loss of Godv been that big of an obstacle for them to overcome?
I definitely think that it is a huge factor, but Godv really wasn't lost until the last day for them in the weekly finals. So their performance on, the first few days when they did have him, definitely kind of raising a little bit of eyebrows. I know, again, he has been ill, and there's a big possibility that could have also affected his performance, but something's not quite clicking for them, and they're just going to have to do what they can with their subs coming in. On the flip side of that, though, I do want to point out, if anything, having them down here is really helpful to the other 31 teams in this lobby, because that means that now they have the opportunity to catch up financially and not let 4 a.m. run away with the show.
I know there are a lot of 4 a.m. fans out there, a lot of 4 a.m. fans in the chat, and they are dealing with probably the worst case scenario that anybody could have to deal with. And, a lot of pressure being put on Pignons coming in and filling in for Godv, who is, almost the face of the franchise, really, Godspeed. Like, what advice would you give to Pignons coming into these days after having kind of a rough start here?
To not play like anyone other than himself. There's obviously expectations on that team, and sure, Godv is a huge part of that, but we're also forgetting about the other 3 members of 4 a.m. who are also equally as nuts. So I think Pignans just comes in and he tries to play his game and talks to the team to see what's been working. Obviously, I'm sure he's been watching the team to see what's been working, and then they just continue to roll out. I don't think 4 a.m. being here is necessarily them becoming a weaker team. I just think, sure, without Godvia, it doesn't help a lot, but Pignans is also a phenomenal player in his own right, on top of the fact that they just had to deal with DA pretty much the entire time they were in the lobby, hot dropping, which is probably a factor as to why they didn't, get to the weekly finals. But yeah, I think 4AM will be fine.
Well, okay, in fairness, we've ripped on DA nonstop for making that hot drop on J Compound. 4AM deservedly should be ripped on as well because they didn't give it up either. Yeah. They didn't give it up either. They didn't necessarily need that compound for school apps drop. But I understand why. I guess I understand why giving that up when you drop school apps is a lot more of a big deal. Because then all of a sudden now you find your entire north side and west side kind of wrapped in and blanketed by DA. That would be more of a pain than for DA, I imagine. But either way, it looks like for the most part, Clover, that fight has gone away. So who are we looking at early game here? Is there any other exciting things that we can maybe expect to see?
I'm still not sure it's completely gone away, but we've also seen, 4AM get a little bit overzealous with their dropout in Hacienda for the Miramar, and there's quite a few teams that drop out in that area. TSM, K7, even you've got the Sonics down in Picado. So as a lot of teams really set themselves up in the center of the map, and that's kind of made for some quick early fights and rotations that kind of throw some of these teams into each other out in phase 1 and 2 even. And so I think that potentially, if anything, 4AM seems to be the team that's constantly getting shook up in those.
Well, let's talk a little bit more about our leaders right now, since we want to give them their flowers while they have a chance. Meta Gaming right now, Silzen in second of total kills with 12, Sparking right behind him with 10. Coming into this tournament, I was kind of put under the impression that this was the Sparking show, Godspeed, but that team is also stepping up around him, aren't they?
I think everyone has been playing really well. Sparking's obviously had a good showing so far in his own right, but yeah, I think everyone on that team has been stepping up. Wicked obviously has been making some really nasty plays, but I just feel like they're being it's the same thing as Petrichor, honestly. They're being proactive. They see the decisions that they have to make, and they're generally making the more aggressive one to clear more space, whether it's them being on the edge or even them taking a compound that's somewhat center. These guys are making sure that they're clearing out, at least when they have 4 up. We've seen Meta kind of split 2-2 share compounds with like another duo from another team, but that's just to coexist. We saw that in the SDK game actually during the weekly finals. But both of these teams are playing very proactive PUBG. They're making good decisions, they're taking smart fights, and they're winning those fights, which is why they're on top of the leaderboard right now.
It's all going to come down to the superstars in the end. Those are the ones that make the biggest difference. And who are the 2 superstars for Petrichor, Clover, that you would say that chat should keep their eyes on as this day progresses?
Obviously, like XLeft was somebody that we saw so many great things come out of yesterday, but I kind of agree with Godspeed. I mean, it's the whole roster, right? That we really, I can't really think that you can give it to 1 or 2 players. It's just the way that they're playing together as a cohesive unit that's really, I think, made them so scary.
Well, we've had records falling, breaking left and right. Godspeed. Yesterday, we had what was it? Oh man, what was the game in the finals? There was a game in the finals. I think where just somebody went absolutely bananas. I think it was VP Virtus Pro. If you had to guess,
it was VP.
Pick a team maybe that would maybe break the record that VP set. Who do you think it would be?
I mean, in this lobby, honestly, it's our 16th place team. It's Infantry. We've seen them clean up some massive kill counts going into the end of the game, where they won a few here or there during the event overall, which is why they also have a good amount of money. But yeah, Infantry is nuts, man. The way that they clear out Circle is only comparable really to like that of like Gen G, essentially, because they're also so clean when they play the edge. And Infantry is just so aggressive, man. I love watching them play.
You think they can get higher than them? You think they can get more than 19 kills in one game?
Yeah, I think they were at like 17 for one of their wins this series so far, and also
yeah, they got 19. Petrichor.
Oh, they were. Oh,
I would say Petrichor.
So it's a little bit of a time.
I believe Petrichor. No. Well, I'll tell you what, we don't have to wait. Okay, there we go. Petrichor over here. Well, we don't have to wait any longer to find out because we're going into game right now with Froz and Mr. Toby. Boys, take it away.
Thank you so much, Paul. Thank you so much, Desk. It's always fun, I think, for us to debate these. Who could go out and get those crazy wins? We saw it from Zenith. We saw Infantry get a 19 kill third place, and now we've seen VP get a 20 kill win as well. Who do you think could be a team today that could potentially go out and bring home a massive kill game?
I want to say Petrichor Road as well, but I'm pretty sure they haven't won a single game in PGI.S so far. And for them to having their first win being like a super win in terms of having like 20 plus kills, I have a hard time believing that, even though we're seeing good results from them. I feel like a team that I want to see more from today is probably Damwon Kia, and I feel like they could probably put up a good win here today.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's Damwon Kia is a fun story to me. I mean, I didn't have the biggest expectations from them coming into the tournament, and then I mean, I don't want to say out of nowhere because the talent is definitely on the roster. I just didn't expect too much from them. But then they come in on week 1 and they just do incredible things in the seeding matches, and they play really, really, really well. And I go, damn, okay, so these guys are here to stay. These guys are here to perform, and then we haven't really seen them since, it feels like.
I feel like it's kind of the same thing as we're seeing with Sonics as well. Two teams that has been pretty dominant in their regions, really good teams. They're not bad in any way or shape. But when they come into this tournament, they're coming super strong. They do play out really well. But then they're not evolving with the teams. What are you doing, Joe? Yeah. I don't know what that was. But yeah, these teams are not evolving with the other teams. So
there's one tree within like 100 meters on both sides. How did you manage to hit that?
Watch him flip the car now as well. Watch him flip the car.
I would not be surprised.
I believe. No, but okay, yeah. Sonics and Damwon Kia, like they're not evolving like the other teams. The other teams, they're adapting, they're evolving with the other teams. So when the other teams are becoming better, they start playing other positions. They adapt to that. They start reacting to that. While we're seeing teams like Sonics, Damwon Kia, they're not really reacting to it as well. They're taking a lot more time. They're trying to keep on playing their old play style because it was working in the start as well. That's what hurts them the most because that was working for them. They're just trying to keep on doing that and not trying to fix anything because they feel like, oh, that was just a one-off that we lost that game or that fight and so on. And yeah, I believe that's what's happening with those two teams and some others as well.
We'll see if they can make something work here in the next 4 games. In the meantime, looks like it's going to make something work. Finds not 1 but 2 from 4AM, a team again that no one would have really thought to play in the bottom matches. 4AM, they lose 2 pretty much instantly here. Great shooting from Lockslot to find double kills.
This reminds me a lot about yesterday's Miramar games. We had kind of similar situation where Lockslot was actually hiding around this area, and he got one, and then another one as well. So basically, 4AM was the victim yesterday as well. So this is a rinse and repeat of yesterday, I guess. If that happens, well, guess what? Meta will win the day. Petrichor Road will be on second place, and then you have all the other teams.
Yeah, now speaking of Petrichor, here we go once more. We saw Long be next to Long Skirt, but the barrel beats the mini up close. He had the shot on him and he had the drop on him, but can't connect the shots needed to get the kill. Now Mamu comes in to try and help, and I think that should be Long Skirt opting to back off. And yes, indeed, this is going to try and run back up the hill. Does manage to get away, at least for now, but you can see Boldian coming in, but so is the entirety of Petrichor Road.
This might be an early fight, and we're not surprised to see teams like Infantry, Petrichor Road, to take the fights early on if they have the possibility. They want to take it. They want to get those early points if they can, because that they make sure that they get those points straight away. But we also know that that's going to hurt them, because most of the times they're going to lose 1 or 2 players, and then they just cripple for the next fight or for the whole rest of the game, basically.
Yeah, exactly. You would not want to lose players earlier. Now, it isn't, I don't want to say it's not as important, but it's not the same as when we're playing the weekly survivals, where if you lose players early, you can pretty much just throw away the game. You can still easily go out and get placement points and a lot of kills with it. We'll see. 4AM, they lost 2. We'll see how much they can manage to do here in this game. And for Infantry, it does seem to me like Longskirt does manage to get away. So at least, even though a few shots were fired, they will manage to get to safety. But to go back to 4 a.m. and how they lost those two, I don't think, first of all, that it's too often San Martin teams go down and split power grid as well. But also for 4 a.m., they normally don't opt to have people up on that power grid plateau with the split they do from Hacienda. So a little surprised to see them opting to do that again, seeing as it already kind of failed yesterday, and now they lose players once more doing it.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised. And once again, Loslock was playing that pretty well because he was just hiding, not showing himself at all until it was time to actually shoot. And once it was time to shoot, he was basically not missing a single bullet on two of them, shooting at two different targets. So that is just well played. That's how you want to see the execution go. But more often do we see that people are taking the time, but then when it's time to pull the trigger, they just start missing the shots. And once you miss the first one, you start panicking, and that's when you miss the second one, and then it just goes all wrong.
Exactly. I feel like there should be, when we have these type tournaments, there should be, just because as if it's not enough pressure that you know that you're playing a big tournament and everything, there should be like a red button in the corner of the monitor that goes, the observer is on you right now. What you're doing right now will be broadcasted to the entire world. So that every time when they see the red button is on them, it's even more pressure to hit the shots, you know? Just I wonder if we'd see more people hit their shots, or if we'd see more people miss their shots if they knew that they were the ones on camera when they were about to shoot. I don't know.
I think, but with time, they would learn to just ignore it, no matter what. They wouldn't like care about the red light,
Hopefully.
right? Hopefully. Yeah, hopefully.
Well, we didn't talk too much about this circle for us. It's gone down towards the southeast. I feel like, I don't know why, but Los Leones have been a magnet for circles, at least for PGI.S. It's been a lot of games going down in this direction, and this one easily could as well. It could shift towards the west and then hop on into the city. But there's also the good chance that it goes up towards the north, towards La Bandida and towards the Impala Fields. So how do you think, I mean, approaching this circle, we see already now a lot of teams setting themselves up around Los Leones. Do you think that's the smart play?
I think setting yourself around Los Leones is always a smart play, especially with the circles we've seen. As you're saying, a lot of circles going towards Los Leones, but also we've seen so many hard shifts that it might not be too bad to actually play the edge and just, take it easy, see where the first circle goes. Even if it goes like a full hard shift to like north or south, it doesn't matter. You don't need to go center. You can still be on the edge because you never know where the next hard shift is going to be. I can promise you, it's going to be at least 2 hard shifts per game. That's what we've seen so far.
Yeah, we'll see now. Speaking of 4M before, here they come once more. They've lost 2. Godby, as you guys might have seen or heard, is not playing. It is Pignance who's playing instead of him. I believe he is still suffering from what also kept him out of the last day of the weekly finals. That's, of course, or weekly survival, I should say. That's, of course, extremely unfortunate, but hopefully for Godby, he will be able to come back and compete against Start next week.
Yeah, it's kind of rough for Pignans coming in, stepping into Godby's shoes. It's kind of interesting because if you heard the desk talking earlier, Godsby said, just play your own game if you're Pignans. I feel like this is kind of different thinking. I think the opposite, for example. I think the Pignans coming in subbing for God V, if it's not for a longer time, he should be trying to fill in God V's shoes. Even though it's super hard, it's very hard as a sub play, knowing like 4 different players' play style and exactly how to fill those shoes. But I feel like that's always a good thing to be able to do, because basically that allows all the other free players to do what they normally do.
Exactly. Now let's see. Iro has found his former teammates from DA up over the hilltop. DA and TSM right next to one another on the very west side of the circle, actually. So kind of fighting for terrain that might not even end up having any impact. But now it is Iro over the top, finds Smash instantly, gets the flush on him as well. And that should at least, if anything, alert DA to the whereabouts of TSM. You can see Mert instantly backing off, saying, nah, you know what, we don't want to fight that. Let's just get closer to the circle and play it from there.
I'm quite surprised. I think that Smash got surprised as well to find someone like Arrow in a spot like that. TSM is not the team that you usually find in a very secondary spot like that. That is where you normally find DA. Maybe that's why Arrow was there as well. He was just looking. He knew that DA likes to play these kind of places and was just trying to find out 1 or 2 kills, 1 or 2 points. Because right now they're in need of every point they can. They're currently sitting in 13th place there with 14 points only.
Yeah, and also, I mean, TSM, they opted to drop down by La Trariera on the south side, right? So, I just don't think, as you said, I mean, DA, they weren't expecting TSM to come in from there, because usually we'd see TSM up around K7's position, up on the big crater, maybe down towards GX. They would have wrapped in from the north, coming from Hacienda and Graveyard in that area that they were coming from up there. So the fact that they're all the way down towards the west, that might have surprised them a little. Circle now does go up to the north, so maybe, of course, unless if we get a hard shift south next circle, we will see at least further north being put into use. But I feel like now we're in between. Like we haven't gone to the field and we haven't gone on the other side. It's just going to be chaos.
Yeah, this is gonna be a little bit weird, but a lot of teams are trying to set themselves up in the center right now, which also, again, it's not like the best thing. It's Circle 2. We've seen so much hardships. I don't totally agree, because when you're setting yourself in the middle, that means that you're gonna be surrounded by all the other teams. Oh, all right. There's a lot of vehicle things happening in this game, I guess. But
Yeah,
no, when you
it's
get when you get surrounded by the other teams, it's so hard for you to try to rotate. Like, you're gonna be the last one to rotate, or you have to fight your way through everyone. So it's not always the best thing to just go dive center.
Well, a few teams have tried to do just that, and they're just, I mean, that's what I was trying to say with it. When you're forcing teams in between La Bandita and Los Leones, there's just not a lot to play. I mean, it's very out in the open. What is not open is a few compounds, and it's just incredibly difficult. So you can see, as much as some teams have tried to play center, we still do have 3 teams inside Los Leones. We have quite a few teams out towards the east, but the very center of the circle is that big hillside, and you just cannot really utilize it all that much when you know there's teams all around you.
Yeah, I'm looking at the map stream right now a little bit, and I'm seeing a lot of 2-2 splits. You have towards the center there. You have teams like GX, Sonics, Buram, Infantry. All of these teams are doing 2-2 splits, and you have some other teams like K7, E36, Damokia that is doing splits as well. And this is what you kind of expect, right? A lot of teams trying to make these splits, but you got to be careful when making them, because a lot of times we see a lot of the other teams, they would crash 4-man into your compound straight away. They would just go for a breach, especially if they know that you're just 1 or 2 players in that compound as well. That means they're going to have the upper hand when they come in and try to fight you. So you got to be careful. Another funny thing here, Silson tried to drive with 3 wheels in a Mirado uphill. It's
Not the easiest thing. Not the easiest thing to do, but they gotta give him credit for at least trying. Question is now, did DA hear his vehicle in the field? They might have. They weren't the ones to shoot at him, but you can see they're all, to some extent, looking in this direction. TSM, they were down on the southwest side, then they saw the shift, and now they've wrapped all the way over towards the north, and I guess part of it is just them, I mean, getting into a more quiet side of the circle, but also that now they technically get to come into the circle from where they usually would. Like, they get to come in from the north, and maybe they're just more comfortable rotating north to south in these type of circles than coming in from that southwest side.
Yeah. TSM, this is maybe like not what I kind of expected from TSM, but they do a lot of rotations. They try to come in from a more or less crowded side, and they actually get the circle. We see it going up towards the north there. But a lot of times what we see is that TSM, when they rotate, is that they will actually lose the people, lose 1 or 2 people, and then they stay super passive for the rest of the game. So far, all 4 up, it's all looking good. So right now, at least, I wouldn't mind to see them taking a more center compound now in Circle 3 here, at least.
I'm looking at the map and thinking, what more center compounds could they get from where they have now? I mean, they have Vart, they have Iro split in between the 2 compounds on the north side, and we know that the next circle is going to shift away from the south side mountains towards Los Leones, so I think they're actually pretty good off where they are. The remaining 2 4M players are trying to wrap up as well, and as you can see, everyone, all the players that haven't found themselves a compound already are currently scrambling to try and see if they can find some sort of cover. Did Leo just get popped midair? Wow,
What
Leo
a shot!
takes Mert out midair. We saw him line it up, and I think the observers kind of just went away from him because, Leo doesn't hit those, but oh my lord, yes he does.
That was just an amazing shot. How far was that? That was like probably like 200-300 meters as well. Take that mid-air headshot with that SLR. I hope we get to see that one on replay from his POV later.
Yeah, that was Again, I don't even think the observers were expecting him to be able to hit it. It was that unlikely, but he does. Hit shot midair, great shooting coming in, and good to see that at least Leo from GX has his scope lined up perfectly at the very start of the day. Maybe that's boding for a good day for GEX, who currently find themselves in 10th place with just 16 points yesterday.
Yeah, but the thing was that yesterday we saw a lot of the points being soaked by the top by Metagaming and Petrichor Road. As you can see right now, they have basically double the points of third place. So it's pretty linear from third place and down to last place, honestly. It's so even between all of them right now.
Yeah, one good game could throw you from the bottom straight up the leaderboard to the top half. We'll see if that's going to be the case for anyone, or if it's going to be a pretty low score, straightforward game. Kildemo also able to hit some good shots. Good, connects a headshot on towards his, I guess you could say, continent player, and Silson sparking will try and spray across. Not gonna happen. Necro goes down in the meantime, and now maybe you can see how they're caught in the open. A lot of these LATAM players, they try to get across, they try to get further up towards the north. They know the circle's gonna go up there, but there are just so many players trying to come up from the south now, make their way up there. And oh, finally the angle is there. Sparking finds Kildemo. That's gonna be one more down. Rusty trying to do something to cover his teammates. He has to sprint if he wants to get over there before the flushes come through.
Yeah, this is going to be rough for them. And of course, as you can see, there's more teams than just Meta and Fury down there. The other teams are looking at them, and Division X is actually they're trying to get over there, or Fergus is trying to find Meta. We see a new shift, of course, again, a hard shift up to the north, and TSM, they're going to be down in the center of this new circle, still doing that 2-2 split, which is kind of surprising considering the circle. I would double it down on one of the compounds.
Yeah, I think at this point that's probably what they're gonna opt to do at some point. They know not a lot of players are gonna be coming in from it. Again, I mean, these headshots with the DMRs today, they're on point. People have been they don't want to play the bottom games. They want to get this over with as quick as they can, get a lot of points, and make their way into the finals next week, and understandably so, or the week after next week, I should say, right? Because next week is gonna be the weekly survival one-off tournament. Yeah, so the week after next week. We'll see. Raspu try and get some kills in.
Last man
again,
up for a team as well.
LATAM against LATAM action. Meta and Furia trying to square this one off. And the thing is, for Meta, they just want to get this over with as fast as they can, because they have so many more things to worry about right now.
Yeah, as soon as they can get rid of Rasper here, they can start moving into the circle. This is the last hurdle, more or less, before they can start moving. I don't think they had too many vehicles to work with either, so they want to finish this up pretty quick. There we go. Furia out on 16th place.
Yep, down they go. Out they go to their countrymen from LATAM. We'll see now that Nation Gaming White find themselves in a bit of a pickle on the edge of the circle as well. They're fighting Burram on the edge, but they have infantry coming in right as we speak. No, drop finds one. No, actually it doesn't. It's going to be Kokoro able to take him down, and now Xiao Yang and infantry are starting to peek over the top, but he is still up here.
So many fights going on right now. Infantry and Burram right now fighting over here as well on the southeastern side. Oh, Burram out. So that's Burram on 15th place. But as you can see on the minimap itself, there's a few teams down here on the southeast side. It's super crowded. It's going to be hard to just try to get in there. Infantry getting that buzz as well. Let's see what they're going to be doing with that later.
You're wondering why TSM was maintaining their split. I think they knew, and understandably so, knew that this was going to be all chaos on the south and not too much action on the north. Mamu does manage to find Indigo. In the meantime, that Nation Gaming White folds as well. Both DXG and Entry Force 36 are getting in on the action now. Meta, final few players, full speed sending it through. Sparking, trying to maintain control of the vehicle as he comes driving on down across the road and into the crater on the other side. In the meantime, La Bandita has become the center of attention for both Damwon and Petrichor.
Two teams that are not afraid to fight each other either, but at the same time, they got to be careful, because look at to the west there. TSM, they're just all watching the whole fight, and if they get any chance, they'll take the shots. They'll try to knock you. They'll try to get those flushes if they can. So you got to be careful. That's some added pressure to Damwon Kia and Petrichor Road in this awkward fight here right now.
TSM has so much space on their side of the circle, they don't have to sit in the compounds anymore. They're just standing up on the hillsides, aggressively looking to the east. Now they get the circle. I don't want to say on them, but at least it includes the north side or the south side compound once more. Xiao Yang trying to get the kill, but not going to happen. Mamu from the side, able to defend and hold off under. Now on his own from Damwon Kia. Only one kill for the team so far. as he's trying to hold off. Circle's going to start closing in, and this is just not looking easy for him at all.
This is gonna be rough, and of course the circle is starting to close soon as well, so he doesn't have too much time, but if he can buy himself some time, there is a chance that Petrichor might leave.
We'll see now. Sonics over the top they go. They knew they had the XG on the side, but knew they had to take the fight eventually, and now they push forward. It's just Fergus left alive to make a swift killing of them. Just one more player, of course. Secure yourself those kills, get them in there. Fergus trying to get away. He's on fire. Does he go down? Yes, he does. The XG eliminated.
Sonic's putting some more points on the board. We saw that they had a good game yesterday, getting that win, but except from that, it wasn't much we saw from them. So it's seeing this right now today, it looks like they're gonna have a little bit of a better start. Still all 4 up as well. One of few teams that still has that. Oh!
Under solid spray. Actually able to get the double kill there. I was not seeing him get out of here alive, but he is going to be the last person alive for the team. And again, while in the weekly survivals, it might not matter too much here. At least maybe those 2 points can be the difference maker for them. Damwon Kia currently sitting up in 3rd place at 30 points. Tied, at least for now, with Sonics. But Under does have to run through the entirety of TSM, so I don't see him getting out of La Bandita alive.
Yeah, and it's gonna be rough with TSM and GX having so much control over the circle right now. It's basically those 2 teams, and then everybody else just got a scrap on the edges. VOD finds one there, and oh sorry, it was Sparking actually. Finds one on K7.
Oh, he's got to be blind, Sparking. I don't think he can see anything from what he's doing right now. He's doing his very best to hold off the entirety of K7 on his own, and so far, I mean, he does have a billion flashes. How many did he just throw? 4 or 5 flashes over the top, trying to stay put. He has one more even. I'm not sure how in the world he's been able to find that much utility. And now the 1v3 flash is going to be coming in return, trying to stay put. Survivor has been seen, but so has Sparking, and he will fall down just after Enter Force 36.
K7 actually in for a good game here as well. Is currently on 6 kills after wiping out Meta Gaming, and that's going to put them up on the placement points as well, but it's gonna be a rough time for them now trying to get into this circle. As you can see, GX and Pignans is basically just next to them right now, and Pignans trying to get some kills here on K7.
Yeah, Sparking couldn't do it on his own. We'll see now if Pignans can do it alone versus K7. GX are on the east side, as you said. Maybe there's a chance for them to third party out and help out Pignans a little bit. Of course, they probably won't know that he's where he is, but you can see GX, they are pushing out to some extent. Now, the circle did go back towards the east, so I think they're going to think twice about it. But Yanli has, on his own, pushed out here. The entire team is back in the compound. They have to hold off Sonics in a second, but Yanli has gone for a solo play to try and see if he can get some kills here.
He got an AK, but he got a nade. Is this gonna be it? Is this gonna be a free K nade? It doesn't really connect all of them, but he does get one.
Yep, one goes down, gets himself one. There goes the flush as well. Pignans will be taken down. So K7 on the west side, the Snake Eliminator. Sparking first of all, now falls one more. And now comes Sonics. They're going to pull up on GX. And as we said before, Yanli is out of position. He's still in the field, trying to make his way back. But here comes Sonics.
Sonics making a decent breach here. As you can see, they're using the vehicles as cover, but Trimsy going down straight away. That's not good for the breach itself. GX holding strong here. It's kind of hard because Sonics has a lot of room to work with here with that whole wall there. And GX, yeah, they're not trying to really force him into that wall. Look at that move from Mime. Make sure he can trying to go for that flank right now.
Yep, trying to rev out on the side and get himself into a better position. Mao Yeep with the AOG, able to hold them off at least for now. And also, I mean, with so many nades thrown forward, I was actually surprised to see that there wasn't more people knocked initially. But this does allow for Yanli to get back towards his teammates. Takelton playing from behind will try and grant some sort of overview for his teammates as they try to push further towards the building. Keep in mind that this compound is in the circle, but where they are right now, Sonics is not. So they will have to fight their way through, and it seems to me like they're wrapping over on the west side.
Yeah, you gotta be careful if you're GX because you have so many enemies outside of walls that you gotta make sure that you can't get peeked by the other teams while you're trying to take a good position against Sonics here because they want to hold from the inside of the circle. And it looks like Leo is taking a fight against K7 at the same time.
Yep, K7, few shots fired. Does enough to distract them for a while as expected. Under did not manage to get out of Labendita. He will go down to TSM. Now Tiggleton over the top finds one, able to stay alive with just 5 HP. Solid spray coming in, and I believe it's just one left alive. Yes, CC, the last remaining player now for GEX. We'll see if he can hold off here. If he can get the kills fast enough, there might be 3 rests available, but nope, he won't be able to have the rest. And there, one comes in. CC finds the first. Will he find more? No, not gonna happen. Down goes GEX, and Sonics finds their kill number 8.
Good push from Sonics there, putting that pressure on GX, making sure that they couldn't get that res off. That was super crucial, because if that res got off, they would have been able to hold both of the angles. Now we see, of course, a new circle popping again. TSM, they're going to be inside there. Also, we see that Infantry, they have moved in from the southeast side up to the east side now, and they have a little bit of that crater still to play with. That's going to be very beneficial for them, and it's going to be a big fight between TSM and Infantry towards the end. Now, the big question is, what is Sonics going to do? Are they going to try to take some vehicles from out in the blue and try to just drive in, or are they just going to try to run in and get gunned down by all the other teams?
You would have to expect Sonics to try and push in from the southeast, down in this direction. Take vehicles, go down here, and then play on foot downhill, because, I mean, if they go straight west, there's not really anywhere they can play from. They have to expect there to be people inside the compound on the north side where TSM is. I would be very surprised to see Sonics try and wrap west around this. I would assume to see them go down towards Xiaoyang and Longske and take the fight there. But we'll see. They're just about ready to make their rotation on out.
They have vehicles, which is crucial at least. And now it's all down to how they're going to be parking those as well, because they can use those as cover. Got to utilize everything you can in a circle like this for them. They're not in a favorable position right now. And they also have a bike, of course, but that one is not going to lend you a lot of cover.
Well, they do manage to get the vehicles out. H-Win, remember your vehicle yourself now. Miracle does get tagged and get knocked, but Vod is there immediately with a trade. Does that mean they pull up on the compound? Now they might have changed their opinion, because H-Win saw people on the east. This might be them pulling up further downhill, but nope, they stopped the vehicle. They have a bit of a dip on the other side. It won't grant them a lot of cover, though, and immediately H-Win falls down.
Yeah, H-Win falls down straight away to that arm in Nine's hand. And they got to be careful, because they have really rough sightlines here, both against Infantry and TSM. TSM, of course, playing from the downhill there inside the compound. They don't need to overpeak anything. They could wait it out. Let Sonics and Infantry fight it for now.
Yeah, and this is, I mean, we were down to 4 teams alive in phase 6. First of all, that's not something that usually happens, but this one could now drag out a little. But you can see at the same time, I mean, how little space the Sonics players have to move around. 10 bullets left on one side. I mean, when you're up against the MK and the and you're in the worst position in the circle, that's just difficult. Everyone, though, has crate guns on their side. Shrimsy running downhill with the AUG. They will have to try and take the fight here to TSM. We'll see how they succeed, though. Oh, that's a good nade. Takes down Tiggles, but look at the damage. Both Mime and Shrimsy will have to heal up.
Yeah, it's going to be a rough one, but they should be able to get this rest. But Xiaoyang here, he's going to push. He saw it happen. He wants to get involved as well, trying to take a few shots. He does get the flush on Tiggleton. And that's good enough for now, because that's damage done. That's Sonic's crippled for this fight currently, and they can take the time. They got the circle right now. Infantry got the whole of the circle by themselves. They're going to try to force TSM and Sonics to fight this out, and they just clean up the mess afterwards.
I gotta say, I'm loving what Infantry are doing right now, pushing over the top like this. They are 1 kill away from matching the total points. We're not even talking placement points here. They're 1 kill away from matching the total points they got yesterday. I do not know what happened to Infantry yesterday, but that was not an Infantry day. It seems to me like they maybe had a pep talk coming into today's games, and they figured something out, because this seems to be a much better start for them. But I love the fact that they were trying to push over the top, see if they can get the flash onto Sonics, and then potentially hold out TSM. They didn't like what they saw. They saw the rests come in. They couldn't get a good angle. They back off, and now they let TSM and Sonics fight.
Yeah, it looks like TSM is going to try to wrap this up quickly, but look at this. Bowling actually finds the knock on Vod, and they're probably going to be pushing on this, because now They got all the time in the world to work against all these teams, and they have, of course, the whole map, the whole zone controlled by them as well.
Yes, I mean, they've just played it incredibly well. Infantry really smart about what they're doing. Let's see, trying to peek over the top. Strimsy still does have the level 3 helmet, but of course, you know you're up against an arm. It won't grant you a whole lot of favors. Molly thrown down in the door now, trying to isolate TSM. Vard does get found with a Molly. Liang over the top, tries to do damage on the other side. Infantry, 10 kills for them, and counting. They're getting even more with it. Miracle down, Vard down, Boogie Boogie's been knocked. It's just Iroh left alive. Liang over the top finds one. It's just one left alive. Iroh on his own versus all four, and down he goes. Infantry, 12 kill chicken dinner. The desk said it. I mean, Godspeed said it. If there's a team that can out to get a good kill game, that is the team on the bottom. And while it wasn't a 20 kill game, it still was a 12 kill chicken dinner.
I'll tell you this, before the games, we saw all of them sitting there yawning, but it looks like they're fully awake right now, getting themselves that 12 kill chicken dinner. That's going to triple their points from what they had yesterday, and that's going to put them towards the top, as he was talking about it early in the game. One win with some kills, that's going to put you to the top because of how even it is between all of the teams currently with yesterday's games. Or after yesterday's
Get up that leaderboard as fast as you possibly can. You know, I mean, you just gotta say, I mean, Infantry, the way they played this game, they cleared the entire east side of the circle. While we saw the skirmish on the west side with K7 clearing out snakes, I mean, K7 were clearing snakes, Infantry were clearing teams. They were doing so much damage out on that east side of the circle, and they were just plummeting people all over the place. And coming into the very final match of the game, they had not lost a single player, and they still didn't. They never even had a player knocked in that entire in-game fight. So very impressive play from Infantry.
Yeah, and this is totally different from what we saw them do yesterday. Yesterday, it was basically them taking the fight straight away. And we saw them early on, of course, trying to take that fight. I think it was against Petrichor Road, but they opted to move away from it instead because they said, hey, we don't want to lose people early again, because every time we do that, we just end up being crippled and we can't win the game. Now they do the opposite. They win the game instead with a lot of kills. Let's hear what the desk have to say about this whole game.
Well, that didn't take long. Infantry, starting off today in last place, takes them all of one game to hop up the leaderboards with a big win. Clover, look, we'll touch on Infantry in a second. Obviously, there's a lot to talk about there, and I know Godspeed has a lot of points in particularly once we got. But let's talk real quick about TSM and Sonics. TSM had a really great position there on that northern side, holding down the edge of Bendita Crater, and then you also had Sonics, who had that rough sledding from that south side. Both of those teams still performing really well.
Yeah, you really getting them, as we can even see here on the kill points opportunities, to frag out. You know, we saw Sonics take that push onto Division X and DA, get the third party to fight, and you know, you talked about those positioning. Sonics kind of came into the zone in an awkward spot on the edge before finally pushing and winning out that GEX compound. On the flip side of that, like you said, TSM playing up on that Bendita Crater. They're giving that third party to the Petrichor and Damwon Kia that had kind of been fighting out in there. And I think that a lot of them really great fracking opportunities. Unfortunately, Infantry just came out on top for this match. And as we can see here on the top kills, great performance from them.
Godspeed, you were calling it about 4 circles before the end that you thought Infantry was going to win this. They just had such a great position up there on that Bendita Crater, and then it played out that way, Nostradamus. So what are you going to tell us?
I mean, Toby called it right. They were just clearing teams on the east the entire time, and I said it in the pre-show. They are one of the best teams. I would put them in the same class as almost like a Genji as far as clearing edge circle. I mean, that's how Infantry likes to play. That's exactly what they did here, and they just absolutely murdered everybody on the east side and created a really good path to victory. And then not only that, but TSM tried to flex out of that compound. They tried to get some room, and they were playing proactively. The issue was that Infantry's split was so strong that they actually just herded TSM back into that compound where they got stuck, and eventually they just took the win. But I also want to give a massive shout out to TSM as well as Sonics, who had a hell of a fight in on that circle on all those shifts from the south.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, that 2-2 split that Infantry held, where they on the northern side were able to force TSM back into their compound with just 2, and on the southern side, it prevented the wrap going around to the east from Sonics when they were leaving that GEX compound. So, you know, it's really good to see Infantry be able to pull that kind of two-way fighting going on as two duos, considering they had such a rough day yesterday with only 10 points. Now you can see it has pushed them up into 6th place. Are they safe just yet, Clover? We don't know, do we? I mean, that bottom half of the leaderboard is really, really clustered.
Yeah, I mean, you know, now the bottom half is starting to get a little bit further and further away from the top half. You know, going into the first match, we really just saw two teams that were a little bit untouchable. But as we saw all those red and green arrows, there was a lot of movement with that. Now, that said, this was a really great game for Infantry. 22 points for this one match, and 20-point game for any one of these teams could really make a huge difference even this late.
Yeah, I mean, at the beginning of the day, we were looking at, it was, 17 points separating 16th from 3rd. And it has not separated a whole lot more since then. Godspeed. Looking down, we now have in our bottom half of the leaderboard, our top bottom 3 spots, we got DA, Furia, Attack All Around. Which of those teams would you put your money on to climb the most in this next game?
Honestly, probably DA. I think DA, as long as they don't do anything foolish early game, I mean, they're a good team. Like, they've proven that they belong here. They've made some really crazy plays. The problem is they can't ever do that consistently, but I would put my money on DA to make it out of that bottom 3, to be honest.
Well, they can't. We're still got one more to go on Miramar, so the opportunity for foolish early game plays for DA is a little bit sus right now. But that being said, Clover, DA, I mean, you're looking at him yesterday. Outside of that great 3rd place finish they had in the game 4, 3 16th places before that. And 2 of those being on Miramar. And then this last game, 13th place with 1 kill. What is going on Miramar for DA?
I don't know. I mean, it just seems like they're having awkward situations, either being crashed or crashing. And I can't quite tell if it's just a bad communication. They're really sending themselves all in. And, you know, that's respectable. It's nice. You know, take that high risk, high reward. The problem is they're just not being rewarded for these types of plays. They need to be a little bit more cautious. I think maybe a little bit better careful on their scouting.
A little reward would go a long way right now for those boys. They're not in 16th. All right, so they got that going for them. That distinction is being held by Attack All Around.
It's fine. I'm gonna get roasted for calling them a good team, but you know, I do believe that they actually do play well when
they are.
You know, they're not. I think they're a good team. I'm sorry.
I mean, they are.
They're stubborn. You know.
They're
for
not
sure
playing very well now, but they have the potential. So yeah, we'll see what they can do.
Absolutely. I mean, we've seen them play. We've seen them play absolutely nuts. We saw it in game 4 yesterday. Well, maybe we'll see it in game 2 today as we are heading over to Miramar for game number 2. We've got 3 more on the dock, but this one is going to be brought to us by Froz and Toby and Intel, where gaming happens.
Thank you so much, Poro. And yes, Godspeed, you know what? I would like to agree with you. When DA don't do foolish things early, they're not just a good team. They're a terrifying team. Once they get things going, they can do exactly what we just saw from Infantry right now. I mean, Frost, you and I have had the pleasure in EU of seeing it time and time again. DA, when they're feeling it, when they're on fire, they can seem unstoppable.
Yeah, I want to see them get that fire going again. Right now, we haven't really seen it yesterday. We didn't even see them drop with 4 a.m. and try to fight for J Compound. But still, they didn't manage to get the results. I still believe in the AI. I think they're a phenomenal team. And they've been working so hard to be where they are right now, to be that really good team. And I want to see more from them. I want to see more. We still have, of course, a few games here, so it's not over yet. But so far, they're currently sitting on a 14th place with only 16 points. And basically, all of the points came from yesterday's last game on Erangel, where we ended on Military Island, where they basically went and sat in that bunker. So, yeah, they got to step it up if they want to see some good results coming in here today.
Is this the siren of why you go for my vehicle, Paul? That's the sound. Oh, these circles, man, they just keep they keep giving, they keep going to the most weird and wonky places. And now southeast, pretty much as hard as we could go, is where we're headed. Everyone will have to make their way down here. Petrichor, full speed forward, flying down towards Port Paris. So they know that if they get down here fast, they will have the best position in the circle easily. And And that's why they're chasing it.
Yeah, we're probably gonna see a Petrichor road that won't be looting too long. They'll be probably looting a little bit and trying to take a good position straight away. That's what we want to see from a team that is kind of that sent into the first circle as well. They know straight away that, okay, no one else is over here right now. We got everything for ourselves. But if we don't be quick on this, there's gonna be a lot of teams trying to dive in here straight away, especially since we're so center as well. And right now, the only things we see in the circle, it's gonna be Infantry, Petrichor Road, and Detonation Gaming in Los Leonas currently.
It's so fun when we have these circles where you have a team that is, to some extent, pretty edge heavy. Now look at Infantry as well as Petrichor. You have a team that likes to fight around the edge, then they just get thrown a circle in their face, and then you can just. It's so weird because I've said this before, and it sounds weird when you say it, but some teams, they don't necessarily like getting circles all that much. I mean, because they want to be able to position themselves on the edge. That's where they thrive. That's where they get their good kill games, and it just feels weird. It's like watching. I don't even know what the comparison could be. It would be like watching an elephant try and walk around in a big store made of glass. I mean, it's just they just look uncomfortable when you have one like. But we're an edge team, and the circle just goes straight in their face. Having said that, now I do like seeing how Petrichor are currently splitting out and trying to take control. It's just always so interesting. I've seen it with Navi before, where they get circles thrown on them, and you can just see this like. But we were supposed to be on the edge of the circle, not sitting in the center doing nothing. It's pretty interesting to see, and now we'll see how Petrichor and Infantry, for that sake, will try and make use of this.
No, that's totally correct. And the whole thing with the teams being uncomfortable when they actually get the circle, when they're usually an edge team, is that they don't really know how to play it out. They don't know how to flex out when they need to. And that's what we usually see the teams trying to just turtle down into one compound, more or less, or very awkwardly doing a very bad split between the team. And when it comes to like, well, we need to group up now, they have no idea where the rest of like the enemies are. Where's the safe rotation? And you just see them end up like rotating into someone else and just dying, or they get breached. They're not ready for it, and there's no backup for them.
Exactly. I mean, the edge teams, and that's what maybe some teams, some people, viewers, don't always understand, is that the one of the big arguments for playing edge is information gathering. When you sit center, you kind of expect everyone else, or at least for the most part, to do the heavy lifting for you, because they on the edge fights will have happened that will most likely have taken some players down to low HP, and then when they come to your compound in the center, you don't need all that much info, because you know that as long as you're 4v2, odds are you're gonna win it either way. That's not completely outlining it, but for the most part, when you're center, fights will usually happen with you at an advantage. But on the edge, it might be more dangerous, but you also get so much more space to spread out and get info, at least for the most part. So having these teams sit in the center without a lot of info, then, as you said, try and push out on the edge or take fights in the late game, they go into that with a completely different amount of information or intel gathered than they normally would, and that can make for a uncomfortable situation.
Yeah, just one thing we saw there. By the way, we saw a smash, basically smashing into Mert's car in the back there. Basically, he was not trying to get him off the road there, but he was just trying to boost him a little bit. It's something we don't quite see too often while being here playing these games, but it's a nice catch there from the observers, actually.
As if getting a hard shift to the southeast wasn't enough, they also got a crate literally inside Porto Paraíso. It's something. The game is trying to tell something here, and it is Petrichor. You damn better go out and win this game, because we're doing everything we can to give it to you. At least within the margins of the first 6 minutes of the game. And as I say that, long scout, terrifying. Ixlef does get to stay alive, able to dodge those bullets. Fortunately, got in the vehicle, able to get away. Level 3 helmet won't have taken any damage, but now Petrichor knows, which they probably kind of alluded to already, that they're not the only ones around here. And DXG, well, they've opted to go for a boat.
It's not a bad shout to take a boat, but it's going to be rough to get into the shore right now, because there's going to be so many teams down there. And yesterday we saw Ixlef with that AUG, and he was basically just killing people with that. He was just a pure killing machine with that AUG level 3 gear. So hopefully we'll see the same thing, because that was just enjoyable to watch yesterday.
Yeah, he is a very, very talented player. He's one of those that, I mean, you can give him a crossbow, he'd still probably go out and get more kills than I could in any situation like this. Very, very talented player. And we'll see if Petrico, they're currently sitting in a pretty wide two-way split in the center, actually. I'm a little curious to kind of follow that and see how long they try and maintain it, because there's no way they can do anything to help out one another right now with the split they're sitting in. If any team comes in between them, that could make it incredibly difficult for them to get back together. From one edge playing team right now in DXG to another, Enter Force 36 trying to make their way in from the north side, and they have plenty of space up here to go south. I mean, because Infantry, the Impala looting team, went down south, and TSM kind of followed their alliance down in that direction too. It's a very spacious top side of the circle right now.
That's not looking good right now. Sonic's taking a few shots there against 4AM, and early fight in Los Leones. That is really weird. We're in Circle 1 right now, but look at these two teams. They want to take this fight. They don't want to back it off.
I mean, we have seen, 3 or 4 games just in this tournament already, and pretty much exactly where Sonics are sitting on this hillside, or just on the road between the hill and the compound. So maybe they're just going, you know what? This has happened so many times. Now we're just kind of taking it for granted. It would kind of require 3 very heavy northwest hard shifts, or at least 2 northwest hard shifts followed by a mandatory northwest circle. But we'll see. We'll see if it happens. I doubt it, but I like the fact they're trying to take the fight here.
Hey, you never know with the circles we've seen so far in PGI.S. It's totally possible that we do get them. I wouldn't count it out yet. It's actually pretty high possibility that it would happen even. Oh my, did he catch him? Yep. He saw Xiaolu. They saw each other.
Oh, timing. Can't quite find him there. H-Twin goes down.
Oh.
Knocks are traded in return, though. Now Sonic's really doing a lot of damage for him. It just one left life. Picknance, the sub player, trying to get a kill. Can't find it. Not able to get it. The level 3 vest keeps Tiggleton alive. I thought that was a dead giveaway. I thought he was down for sure. But Tiggleton dodges and weaves while keeping the trigger on point and able to get the kill there. That was interesting. I did not expect him to stay alive in that fight. But Sonics managed to find the kills, and they stay put. And also, DXG, welcome on shore.
Tiggleton should not have survived that. Crazy basically went rushing on him, and Tiggleton had a nade in his hand. He didn't even have his gun out, and still managed to get that gun back out and get him down there. Wow, what a great recovery there from Sonics, even though they did lose one player. But, I mean, getting a full wipe on 4AM, and it looks like they're just going to keep on moving out from there and keep on playing the game. They're currently sitting in a third place overall, so really good spot for them. And, yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Not going to be complaining about that one at all if you can get 4 kills like that against the team that is one of the best fragments. What?
No way.
Wait, what? Frost, you like to what?
There's no northwestern shifts, I'll tell you that.
Where's the dot, Frost? Where's the dot?
Okay.
Is it on the what?
I'm trying to look it up right now.
What?
Okay, it's basically just east of Furia. Basically on the edge of the beach.
Normally a laugh circles off, but this just doesn't, like, this is beyond what? I'm just, it's too early in the morning. It's only 5:50 a.m. I can't handle this. My body is not even half woken up yet. I cannot handle this. This is what? What?
Okay, so
what
looking
are we
at the circle. We got 75% water right now. That means that even though this is a phase 2, it feels more like a phase 4 basically. And there's gonna be even less space because a lot of the teams are trying to get into the middle of this. They don't want to stay on the edge because they know there's a high chance they won't be in the next circle then. Even though the land ratio doesn't come in for another 2 circles. Long hair getting shot by detonation though.
This is absurd. This is absurd. I mean, we're forcing 58 players to play on the equivalent of phase 5 in phase 2. We have 1/4 of the circle. Only 25% of this circle is on land. Everything else is water. Wicked off screen, popping off, getting himself a double. DXG there, full speed, send it into the city as well. Infantry trying to hold them up. Oh, one good nade here, Longsker. There could be a lot of damage coming in. And yes, Long does go down to Longsker. Now he's caught. He's seen in the backside, and Neil will find him. Great isolation play there with the Molly to keep him behind. takes him down to the end of it too, but tried to get into safety. Not gonna happen. He's gonna go down. Everyone right now fighting for dear life, trying to figure out what's gonna happen here with the next circle. And for us, I just want to remind you and all the viewers, next circle can still go to the water.
This is just full chaos right now. And yeah, as you're saying, the next circle could still go to the water. We could see another hard circle like this for the players. And you know what? In the last circle, what did we say? In the phase 6, we had 4 teams left. We might end up with 4 teams left in phase 4 in this game.
I mean,
if it continues like this.
Yes, we might actually see the lowest players alive by phase 3 that I've ever seen in a competitive PUBG match before. I mean, I don't even know where this one's gonna take us. That was my body was not ready for that shift. Let me put it that way. I was not. I was caught by surprise. That's for sure. I think I'm pretty sure a lot of the players were as well.
All right, so you know how I really don't like when you guys are saying like, "Oh, the crate will predict the next circle," right? And right now, well, we don't see it on the screen here, but on the map we can see that there's actually a crate in the water. It's on the east side, so yeah.
It's gonna center us on DXG's boat because it's considered land. Yeah, we'll see. Lockslot over the top he goes, takes the fight to attack around. Oh, thought he had the flush. Okay, in the end of it he does. Almost overextending a bit too much to get it. Indigo, a few shots fired up towards him, but he should be able to stay alive here. Oh, and here comes Interforce 36, finally entering their way into the circle. We'll see if Lockslot has what it takes to take down all the Japanese players. Let's see. Okay, this circle is, please don't be dumb. Just makes sense. Go back on land.
Can it make sense? That's pretty dumb.
I mean, given where we were in the situation, I guess it's kind of the most sense it could make.
But does it though? If we look at it, like most of the time, we've been talking about the hard shift in PGI.S. This is the only time it's basically just centering up. Totally center up when he could have hard shift to the northwest or west or north to make it easier for players. But no. We want to make it hard for him because that's more fun to watch. It's more fun to see them adapt to these rough circles here.
Oh yes, it does for sure make for entertaining games. We'll see how they plan on maneuvering their way even further down towards the shore. Now we didn't exclude that much land with the shift, but here Lockslot currently on his own, trying to make the push on forward. Do they know they have one right over the top? I'm not sure they do. I'm not. Oh, as I say that, okay, maybe they did after all on the hand nade. Just on the other side, almost takes one down. But they have to play it smart here. Interforce.
Oh, that's a good nade.
Oh, that nade is good, but I'm not able to jump away.
That was last second. GX going out on 15th place. So, yeah, down to 14 teams. We have 14, almost 15 minutes into the game. Actually, we still have quite a lot of players and teams. More than I expected after those 2 rough shifts in the previous 2 circles.
Oh, Sylvia over the top. He peeks, spots one. Oh, you gotta get that knock. You gotta get that knock, Sylvia. You cannot miss those. You had a double tank, 2 chances on him. Not able to get it. Now, here comes blue damage. Will he be able to? Oh, okay, just exactly gets the first aid off. Able to back off. Ammonot, you need to play this one wisely. You have 2 players in front of you. And he's going for the rest. I like it. It's phase 3, still doable. But you gotta get it up. You gotta have Sylvia instantly healing. And then you both gotta make your way towards the circle.
That's the problem. They got to make it into the circle after this because they're in the blue right now. And on the edge of the circle, you actually have Damwon Kia holding them out because they've heard this. They've seen them as well. So basically, they're going to be having a rough time trying to get inside this. And even if they try to opt to go a little bit more east, you're going to have a few teams over there as well. So really rough to take that fight on the edge outside of blue right now.
Now Sonic's trying to wrap their way forward to get inside the next circle, which I don't expect will change too much. The circle should try and go back towards land for the most part possible. So I would assume, with the exception of the very edge of the circle, we should have most things that are currently inside. I mean, in fact, phase 3 to 4 it probably won't even change that much, to be honest. We're just excluding a lot of water.
Yeah. It shouldn't be too much happening. It should be pretty fine. Now Sonic's fighting meta here. 2 teams towards the top. Meanwhile, E46 goes out on a 14th place.
Okay, Shrimsy, I see you. Nice tap down towards Wicked. Over the side comes Silson, trying to do damage in return. Does find Mime, but he is going to go down to Shrimsy in return. Great hold from Shrimsy. A solo player left alive, and now Ragnar, you have to push forward. You have to go do something to keep your teammates alive. It's just one up, but he's actually going to back off. Okay, so leaving his teammates to die. Maybe he thought there were more opponents around than there were. They're trying to crawl
Right,
back.
so they must have misread the kill feed and do not have the count on Sonics and thought there was more people up, so he didn't want to go for the rest there. That's weird, but hey, sometimes you make these decisions. You don't know. You might still be able to make it in and try to get your team some placement points. It has been a rough circle. A lot of the team. Oh, never mind. They got a 13th place. So.
And again, Furia and Meta fighting each other. It's become the new NA versus NA thing. I guess LATAM's now fighting LATAM teams all the time. At least today that's been the case. Furia and Meta, they've run into each other quite a lot. And the story continues to be told. Noatra trying to pull up over the top, trying to get vision on K7 as they come plowing on through. And in the meantime, Fergus here trying to stay put. And they're actually going to be under, taking down Senon. Will be the final player from K7 to go down. 12th place for them. As we said, we didn't exclude that much of the landmass. We did exclude pretty much all the waters. That's something. But for in terms of landmass, we're shooting pretty differently. And for Furia right now, I mean, looking at how they're splitting in a 1-1-1 one split right now, sitting in 16th place, this could be a very good game to boot them up the leaderboards.
This could be a very good game for them, but you also got to be careful because they have such a big split. I'm not sure exactly how they're parked with the vehicles, but if they're not ready to move out, there's a high chance that they'll just get jumped on by a team on one of the players. Basically, they're playing a box formation right now. They have 4 players split 1-1-1-1. It's not bad, but it's really hard to play that really well, and hopefully they know how to play well.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how well they hold off on their own. If things go against them, I mean, Rasper could get pushed by the entirety of Detonation Gaming wide. TSM could come pushing on towards Kill Demo, and all of Infantry could be pushing Necro. So if they don't find a way to get together extremely fast, they could easily be overrun. And when they're sitting this wide apart, they need all 4 players to stay alive. That's the most important thing. If one gets knocked, that just, I mean, it leaves you so exposed for an entire team to push forward and break through the lines. We'll see with the next shift coming in here in just about 20 seconds where they're up to go.
Yeah, well, the whole thing with Fury playing this kind of box formation is that whoever gets crashed on or getting shot at tends to take cover. That's how you want to play it. So that person will take cover. Then you have 2 others that were trying to find angles against the players that are shooting at them. And the last player should be watching the back, making sure that no one else is pushing them while they are shooting the other team. So it's very hard to coordinate that if you haven't played it too much and get it like perfectly working.
We'll see now. Sonyang trying to peek over the top. They know that Burim are just below because I heard them shoot earlier. 4 up alive still. Again, this could also easily be a great game for Damwon Kia. They know they have them just below. They don't want to overextend, though, because if they peek down in this, maybe the XG could be shooting up towards them. Kayla's coming over to try and help here as well. They really just have to try and hold them off. Keep them at bay and move into the circle. They aren't inside the circle themselves either. 20 seconds to go until they'll start moving. And as we know, I mean, if they get knocked here, they're going to be in trouble.
Ooh, Kia, they're sneaking up here behind Buram, but they gotta be careful because they might not see Kanaxi down there. He got that ridge just behind him. They might find Noandra first and try to take the shot straight away. If they do that, they gotta be very careful. Is Kanaxi gonna look back right now?
I mean, in my opinion, there's only one way Burim can go on this, and that's up the hill. They can't push straight down now. Well, the fight's escalated. Petrico and TSM, it was just a matter of time. They were real close to each other. No one up there to engage it, and now they finally do. Nades throw down the hill. That could be good on Woogie. No. Able to back off, but 2 knocks came in instantly. The third now as well. Vard goes down. It's all of TSM here in trouble. Woogie Boogie, the only one left alive, and they lost pretty much all their players within just a few seconds. Great hold from Petrico as they came over the top, and now at the same time, Sonic's trying to hold off here against Detonation Gaming wide.
A lot of battles are going to go out here. Wookie, last man starting for TSM, as you were saying. That's going to be rough for him right now. But in this circle, he can actually snake it. And looks like we're going to have some action going on here as well. Now, Sonics, as we know, they're only down to 2, but they've been staying alive with 2 people, so let's see if they can make anything happen with that fight.
Yeah, in the meantime, Under from afar tries to third party what's going on here. One will fall. Mill taken down instantly by the MK14, and now DA. Okay, so they lose 1, but they had an answer immediately after to attack all around. They get flushed within seconds as well. So all these fights on the north side of the circle are really escalating now. That's essentially where all the action is going down, as this circle is forcing teams further down towards the south. DXG out of the equation as well. Connect's the only player left alive. For Buriram, will they stay alive? Son Yang, you gotta keep shooting. Connects the headshot, and that's Buriram out.
And we see that Mime is getting knocked as well, so only 1 up on Sonics against Detonation here. Shrimpsy last man standing. They got themselves 7 kills so far. It's a pretty good game, but can they stand tall? It's 2 versus 1 actually to get the rest off, but Shrimpsy finds that one again, so now it's 2 versus 1 here. Shrimpsy, what are you gonna do?
Shrimpsy is doing a great job of trying to stay alive. Jumps up in the window, gets the first one, knows he has 2 more outside. Get yourself a nade out there. See if you can maybe get 1 more knock as they try to rest. He throws the flash. Know that they're blinded,
that's
at
a
least
smart move.
in terms of audible cues. Now is he going to run back up to the house? Caught to one vaulting, but he's down to 7 HP. Circle is going to start closing in soon as well. Needs to hold off, throw some more flash. Accidentally flashes himself. Needs to heal up now. Does have first aids, but needs to find a place, needs to find time to get healed up. And while all this is happening, DA are just positioning themselves to hold out whichever of these 2 teams ends up surviving this. First aid comes off. Does manage to grab himself a vert grip, I think, as well, to try and stay alive for longer. But you can see how little space there is to fight around Kokori. In the end, will be able to take him down. And now, let's see if Detonation Gaming White, having been focusing all their attention on Shrimpsy, will be able to do anything against DA, who are currently holding them on the edge. One falls down, Milo falls down as well. It's just Kokori left alive.
But you also got Furia pushing up here behind DA. They're doing what DA was doing against Detonation right now. And both of the teams have opted to go outside the circle to try to find these kills, try to find these points towards the end of the game. But also the one who will be winning this fight will be having so much control on the western edge.
We're in phase 6 with 14 people alive. Last game, we're in phase 6 with 12 people alive. What in the universe is going on here for us? This is getting out of hand, and it's getting out of hand pretty quickly as well. Let's see. Down 1 Kia. 2 alive after the onslaught on the northeast side. They've been forced to take the fight to Petrichor. They're now sharing the compound with the last remaining player from that team. That's Mamu, trying to find his way up on the roof here and maybe hold him off. But Xiao Yang able to take him down from behind. Oh, Mamu, you gotta realize that when you go up on a roof like that, you cannot do it on the side of the circle where you're facing your back towards the entire rest of the teams. You just don't do that.
Well, especially not this late into the game as well. Everyone's going to be compressed into a very small space. We see, of course, that Furia is down on the southwest there. And look at Infantry. You can see them on the minimap. They're moving in from the east. They got so much control. Again, Infantry is looking to have a really good game. Currently only 4 kills, but get them being in the top 4 here. We saw them in the last game winning that one with 12 kills as well. They might be able to actually farm some frags here, seeing that they have all free up still, all free up, I mean, on the team.
Yeah, this is one of the things that terrify me the most about Infantry, and what I've been trying to advocate them for the longest time is that while we see them go aggro, while we see them be really good in fights, they are also very good at knowing when to back off. There are some teams that are extremely good at fighting, DA for example, but they oftentimes catch themselves maybe overextending because they get too greedy, or we're just gonna kill these guys, right? And they end up losing players trying to do that. Infantry, they rarely ever make those kind of mistake plays, and we'll see now if they can hold off here, force the other teams to fight, and maybe capitalize on it in the end, knowing that they've already lost a player. Circle goes towards them. I would not expect to see Infantry push on this unless if the kill feed starts really popping off between Kia and DA. Sorry.
Yeah, basically what the Infantry is trying to do right now is hurl all the other teams to the western side, and they want them to go down towards Furia because they don't want to take the fight yet. They want to see all the other teams fight, make sure that they get crippled by losing utilities, losing helmets, losing armors, and that's when they start striking them. So right now, they're just going to try to push them away from them as much as possible. They know that they have Furia on the west side there as well, in the compound, and they know that Furia is not going to be pushing either. So they just want this to happen. This is exactly what Infantry wants to happen. and they're just gonna watch everything go down.
We'll see now. Fury are wrapping out towards the west side, trying to hold off. Sean Yang is on his own. Oh, Sean Yang, what do you do from here? You lost your teammate, and I think Infantry would probably have hoped that DA had done, or that Damwon had done some more damage towards DA, but now Fury coming up here, and you can see Infantry, they're just trying to play contain. As you said, they're just trying to make sure that no one wraps out towards that east side. Trying to hold off here, making sure they won't be able to do that. Sean Yang now, from fighting one full team to fighting another almost full team, is forced to take the peek down towards... Oh, no, able to back off, but 9 gets the kill in the end of it. And, I mean, Infantry from absolute dead last, now in 5th place. They have been playing lights out today, complete night and day from what they did yesterday. Mert now folds as well. Boliang able to find him with the mini. And on the backside of that, as you said, Furia, they are peeking over the top.
Yeah, and as you can see, Infantry trying to fall back a little bit as well, letting these teams fight out. And look at that, that's the air on 3rd place. Fury doing a great job. Now it's down to a 4 versus 3. Fury got 4 members up. Infantry only 3 up. But looking at this, looking at it right now, Furia, they got the high ground up there with 3 people as well. They're just gonna try to search for Infantry, trying to get that one knock. You see that Infantry, they're trying to move together, trying to find whatever they can. They need to find out one knock to start things off, to even out the odds, making it into a 3v3. But it's gonna be rough. Looking at the spread of Furia, they're gonna have so many sidelines, so many angles on the Infantry on this one.
Yeah, they got the dot on this one at least. We'll see if the final circle goes in their favor as well. Actually, no, a little bit further to the east, but I like how even when they were pushing over towards the top just before to fight off DA, they kept Rusty Zero below to try and give them, like, to try and make sure that Infantry didn't push out that way, because they didn't know at the time whether Infantry were pushing down south or if they were staying up there. So they kept him back to try and play the anchor point on the south side of the circle, and they're still doing that, making sure that Infantry won't be able to wrap on them. We see it so many times. If you allow for Infantry to wrap on a side, if you don't know exactly where they are at all times, they can come out of nowhere and surprise you. And I think that's why Rusty Zero is playing it so passive on that side. Now he does see one. We'll be able to give that info across. Xiao Yang is up towards the shack, but does he know of Boliang's position as well? I'm not sure.
I'm not agreeing with Fury using that nade there. They saw smoke basically. They didn't have more information. They tried to see if they could find a knock there. It's a lot of utility use. One nade is very, very good to have in this scenario right now. So you want to keep those nades. You want to keep those Molotovs until you're 100% sure you got someone pinned down behind a tree or something. That's when you want to strike with it.
We'll see. Furia, they're looking forward, trying to see what they can find down the hill. They know they have infantry on the edge. They know they can try and take center. Only thing is, as you can see here, if they push over, if Necro... Oh, did he spot him? Yes, he did. Headshot comes in, followed by a body shot. Bolt falls down. That was the player they were missing the info on, I believe. And now this should allow for Rusty to push forward. He is already starting to wrap forward below 9. A little further forward he goes. He's seen one below as well. Connects the shots, but not enough. Should have had a few more tags there. Does force him down anyway. That CO9 does fall down at the end of it. And just one left alive. Xiao Yang. 1 versus 4 now. Nope, not gonna happen. Deny the points. Get yourself... Wait, do it? Does he manage to deny it? Flash is thrown. Everything's thrown, and he will deny the point in the end of it. So Furia able to grab themselves a win, a much needed one of that. You can see they aren't fully satisfied. They know they didn't want to have to play these bottom matches, but a win is a win when it all comes down to it, and I'm sure they're going to be happy with that.
Yeah, they came into this game with only 14 points. Getting that win is super important. I think that is kind of the first time we're seeing a deny towards the end of a game here in PGI.S, actually, because most of the times we've been seeing a lot of weekly survival where it actually matters so much that you wouldn't try to deny yourself. So that is one of the first, I'd say, in this tournament. A great game from Infantry as well. So both Infantry and Fury doing a great game here. Infantry has 44 points now. Remember, they came in with 10 points today. So in 2 games, they quadrupled their points. And same with Furia. They came in with 13 points. They basically more than double their points after this game here.
Yeah, very, very, very good game for both teams. And as you said, I mean, it's been the bottom side of the leaderboard that's been wrapping their way up today. DA also, I mean, despite they didn't win the game, but they still had a pretty good game overall. They were sitting down towards the bottom. Kia had themselves a good game, and I think it bodes for interesting final 2 games as we head on over to Wrangle to see, will it continue to be the bottom side teams that are gonna climb their way up, or will some of these top teams finally have something to say about it? What do you think, Patrick?
We did have some rough circles in this game. We've been talking about the hardships, but this was just water circles. Let's see what the desk have to say about these water circles and how they're gonna break it down.
The Latin Kings of the South Side, and throw in a little extra spicy infantry give-up sauce on the end, and you get Furia with a nice big victory for themselves to see themselves shoot up the leaderboard and into safety, one would presume, Clover, as we have 2 games left, and our leaderboard is starting to, we're getting a pretty good idea of where teams are starting to sit now.
Yeah, I mean, before this match, you asked us who did we think was going to win out of the bottom 3, and this was actually a really good shakeup for a couple of those teams. Furia definitely needed the points this match, and we even saw a little bit of a climb from DA, and of course, Infantry. As we see the top points now, look at the 17 from Furia, 12 for Infantry and Digital Athletics. This is much needed for all of these.
Absolutely, and Godspeed, one of the teams I think you pointed out, saying that they needed to have a pretty good game. They didn't win it, but DA, as you said, 12 points, that's going to shoot them up the board. So you feeling comfortable a little bit now if you're DA?
As long as they're, again, surviving early game shenanigans, DA can make solid rounds throughout these games. I mean, they can really kind of move around the map and get the kills. So, yeah, I mean, it feels good that they're, actually playing mid and late game, and they're doing well. The push was really nice as well to clean up that crazy fight we saw between Detonation Gaming and Shrimsy, kind of finish out in that 2-story. But yeah, this was a good game for them.
Good to see Infantry Gaming once again kind of on point as they follow up their first place 22-point win with a 12-point second place. As they've jumped up the leaderboard now, currently sitting in 4th, I believe. To see our overall leaderboards when we return. But yeah, I mean, look, when you see circles that shift that hard south on circle number 2, and Furia just, I don't know, happened to be there, it was setting up pretty nicely for them from the start, though. But it's not always that easy, is it?
No, and the other thing, too, to keep in mind is Fury actually had a really wide split when that circle popped, and they had to kind of make a choice where they wanted to play. If they wanted to stay on the beach, I think they made the smart play, which is pushing up the hill, taking the high ground, getting themselves a little bit more center. So as those shifts started to get away from water, they had a good place to play from. They kept it, I think, a little bit kind of, easy, and they played a little bit protective up until the end. But I mean, Necro really popped off that match for him. So for a good deserved win, as you said, give up juice at the end from Infantry.
The sweetest juiced from the sweetest berry of the Molotov. Anyway, we are going to take a quick break. When we come back, we will have our final 2 games of the day. So don't go anywhere. We'll return shortly. That is right. We got the survival tournament coming up this week. It's going to be very, very, very exciting, very interesting. And I know everybody is going to enjoy the crap out of it. But right now, we've got 2 more games to settle this whole who's going to be in 16th place, who's going to be in 1st through 15th, how many games are they going to get, how many opportunities will they get to the next weekly final session. And Clover, it is there's some pretty spooky teams down there at the bottom right now. I gotta say, I'm particularly looking at 4 a.m. and Buriram as a little Metal Gear Solid question marks or exclamation points above my head, as I'm like, oh, there's 2 more games, I gotta do something, man.
I mean, you just kind of even talked a little bit about that when you just said the teams that place the highest this week are going to have the most opportunities to get the chicken dinner for the next weekly finals. And 4 a.m. is a team that had 16 opportunities this week, and 16 times it just did not work out for them. And exclamation mark indeed. In fact, anything a question mark, because we're all starting to wonder what is happening. They are just not looking great. I know, of course, they do have their sub in, but I mean, it seems like there's a little bit more than just that going on here.
Yeah, do you agree, Godspeed, or do you kind of put it? We hate to put it at Pignon's doorstep, man. It's such a hard thing to ask a sub to come in and fill in for a player like Godby, but you gotta assume they were expecting a little more than this. Yeah, at a professional competition.
I'm gonna kind of get. I don't know. I'm gonna give 4AM the benefit of the doubt here, and I'm just gonna say that they have 2 games left. All they need is 1 pretty decent game. I mean, we saw that already from Infantry, even though they've had 2 decent games now. But yeah, it just takes 1 good game. I just haven't really seen anything from 4AM that makes me think they're like a sinking ship right now. I just think they've had some bad games. That last fight was pretty not great, but I think they're fine. I think 4AM's fine. That's why I can just
we still believe that. There you go. We still believe in 4 a.m. Do we still believe in Buriram, Clover?
I do. They're still getting themselves in situations to frag out. They've got 19 points, but most of that's coming in the terms of kills right now. 15 of them of their points, though, all came from yesterday. So today, not looking as hot. But that said, we're switching over to Erangel, and that is a map that they perform pretty well on.
Well, we got the nice desk today, man. You guys are all sweet. Come on, roast somebody, Godspeed. Light them up.
So I think 4AM is fine, but I actually think Buriram is not fine. So they're trying to take the whole approach that we've seen Petrichor as well as Infantry take, which is they're very aggressive. They like to take those proactive fights. The problem is Buriram is not winning those fights. They're not winning a lot of their engagements, and because of that, they're not even making it really past the 4th circle. So I think Buriram is actually in a little bit of trouble if they continue to play like this, because it's not just been like today or even yesterday. Buriram's been kind of a slump for a while now.
Slumps are the one thing that you always want to avoid when you find yourself at an international tournament, especially one that lasts this long. But so we've had 3 teams so far that have come in 16th place that have not gotten a chance to compete for that weekly final spot. It has been MCG, DA, and Detonation Gaming White. It's looking pretty good, like we're going to see a new fourth here. Although DA was giving us a little bit of a scare there up until the last game, weren't they?
It was a little worrisome if we were going to ever see them get the opportunity to pop up. And we know this team is capable of great things, and they've had fantastic days thus far in the PGI.S series. But, sometimes the bad days can get the better half of you. Right now, I think the worry is what's happening with attack all around. They're another team that is a little bit more passive, and unfortunately, that's starting to cost them right now, as they're just sitting on 15 points so far for the weekend.
And yesterday I was watching these games in the green room with you, Godspeed. I was trying to be the sweetheart nice caster, and I I was giving attack all around some props, and you were like, "Nah, man, I don't really know what is it that you don't that you're not really seeing out of that team that you would like to see?"
AAA has just not shown me any sort of signs of being proactive or really just honestly winning a lot of their engagements. They're always split too, and it's never working out for them. I don't know. I feel like AAA is just kind of non-existent in some of these games, and I don't really like saying that about a team, but they haven't really been a factor in any of these games yet, which is why they're in the bottom.
After watching a couple of these, it's feeling like they may have I don't know if they've been figured out or if they are just,
Well, they're just
putting
passive,
themselves like
too.
that. Well, they got that deal where they hang out on the very western edge of the circle and try to follow it in, and the hardships have just been so damn brutal in this tournament that it seems like they have not caught a single one of those. But who knows? We'll see. Maybe AAA will be able to pull something out of their hats here now that we're over on Erangel. Brought to you by Intel, where gaming happens. We've got Toby and Froz bringing you game number 3.
Thank you so much, Poro. Thank you so much, Disc, for all the lovely insights that you guys keep sharing. I'm enjoying sitting and listening to you while we try and take a breather between these games for us, because holy, I mean, that phase 2 shift last game, that I think caught me by surprise is an understatement. I have never seen that shift before. I mean, even the overlay only showed like 1/3 of the circle. Clearly no one whatsoever, and I can't fault anyone for it, but no one was ready for that shift, including us.
Yeah, and it was real rough for a lot of teams, but Furia, they managed to play that really well, not because they just won the game, of course, but we saw how they were actually playing with that big split that we were talking about, and they kept everybody up on it. Now, of course, coming into this game here, we start off with a very Southward plane, a very rough one, again, for a lot of teams here. And we might be able to see some early action on this one as well.
Yeah, we could. First outside plane normally means people will have to fight for vehicles. Kale finds one hard spawn. I can't get hard shifts out of my mind now. It's finds a hard spawn, able to steal that away from K7, and should be all right. Let's see, Circle. Well, it's as playable as it is. It's an annoying one, right? Because there is still the chance that we get back to military, and there's also still a very likely chance that we end up somewhere up towards the north. But then again, there's also the chance that we end in Primorsk, because now we've seen Stupid, so why not just continue it when it comes to where these circles go? And I want to ask from you, Frost, after what we just saw last game, what would be the absolutely worst circle we could see now?
It would centering up outside on the pier itself, where the boat goes. That would be the worst.
And the team that wins comes with the ferry in phase 5 and just jumps off. Yeah, that'd be something. I'm thinking if we hard shift northeast, and we just keep pretty much the water, like the water in between military and main island in play, because then we have the cliffs on the north side, and then ends going north. You'd be super confused.
Yeah, you would be super confused.
That'd be interesting. That'd be a fun one as well. But we are headed down towards the southwest, and I think for the most part, rotations here should be pretty straightforward. Only thing is, there's more teams out towards the east than what you normally would see in these type of circles.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the teams are going to take their way into this one. Seeing, of course, as you were talking about, it could still go down to military as well. It definitely could. This means that we're probably going to see DA, which is on Sovsnakia right now, down on Millie Island. They're probably going to try to take something close to the bridge there, trying to make sure that they have control over that area so they can go across if they need to. But we also know that infantry is by ferry pier, and they're probably going to hold that side of the bridge. And that will lock down the whole bridge scenario. Now, it comes down to where the team's going to be playing. Are we going to see some teams trying to go... Are you taking a ferry smoking?
I thought that was the producers making a weird sound in my ear, but it was the horn on the ferry. I was like, guys, why are you humming in our microphones right now? But it was just the ferry. It was the ferry signaling that it was leaving.
I'm still to see some amazing plays from the ferry itself. I would see someone like a full team basically being on it, just like shooting another team.
It could happen. I mean, if what you're saying, if what you just maybe cursed could happen, if we see one of these towards ferry pier circles and you're miles out towards the east, I mean, I'm looking at K7, some of these teams that will have a really long rotation coming in. If you look at what they can take, like if you just look at the northeast of this island, of what's inside the circle, if you're coming in late, there is nothing for you to play. If the compounds are taken, if Pachinki Hill is taken, you won't have a place to call your own until you crash into a compound in the center of the circle, which most likely is not something you want to do. So maybe taking that ferry down to ferry pier was not the worst idea.
It's not the worst idea because you have a lot of cover on the ferry itself. You can just go prone on it and basically no one's going to see you. The only downside with taking ferry is basically like you're swimming. You're not going to have any vehicles. Shrimpsy here getting pushed by Division X Gaming though. All 4 of them against him. What's going on?
I was just gonna say, is this Division X being aggressive in the early game? That's not something we see too often, but here comes the cavalry. Sonics, they have heard the call for a need of help. Shrimpsy is desperately trying to hold off all of them. Yep, here they come. We'll see how they manage to approach it. Are they just gonna wrap straight on down towards the compound? Will anyone be taken down prior to them getting here? And also you can see in the minimap, kind of CC from GX is hearing all the commotion. He's looking down here as well. There they go. The cavalry's arrived, and now it's becoming 4v4.
4v4 in this barn here. A good spot. So both of the teams want to play for it. We've seen Sonics playing this spot a lot of times before. And they have basically surrounded Division X Gaming right now on the bottom floor. They do have Shrimps on the top floor as well. Remember that. It's going to be, they're going to try to look here. IQ is on the little one store there on the other side as well, trying to find some angles. But so far, pretty passive. Everyone's trying to use the utilities, trying to find something happening before they engage. But there we go, Shrimpsy coming down from upstairs.
Ooh, finds one more as well. Really, really smart flash eye push play coming out from the guys in Sonics, and we'll see now with just IQ 500 and Long K left alive how they can hold off. Oh, did he see one? I think he did. Actually, no, Leo is going to be the one we talked about. GX maybe third partying on this. Atrium will fall down outside as well. And they have already lost Tickleton. Not lost, he's only knocked for now, but you can see Leo managed to position himself. I'm not sure if CC and the other guys from GX opted to try to third party this, but Leo is in a position to do a lot of damage towards the guys inside the compound here, regardless of who's the ones peeking. Tickleton will get flushed down. IQ 500 just trying to get anything that he can from this. Leo with the 2x SKS doing a lot of damage towards Sonics.
I think that GX is just going to stay over there and overwatch the whole scenario going down and see if they can just find a single flush or something. That's going to be a point without trying to expose themselves. Shrimpsy going down to IQ actually.
Yeah, a lot of damage they wouldn't have wanted to have coming in their way. Now it's just 2 left alive. H-Win and Mime trying to stay alive. Long finds one. Does he find the second? No. Oh, H-Win. Solid double spray coming in. Might be able to keep Mime alive. But you can see Leo is trying to wrap on this. Are they pulling up? Are GX coming? Nah. They're leaving. Okay, fair enough. Not up to progress on this. Staying, looking around just to make sure maybe there's one more kill for them to find, but not quite the case. They will back off, and that's a 2-wheel US, I guess. It looked like it anyway. Someone's not in a good position. Gem's trying to make the run to safety.
Kill Demo.
And we are miles outside the circle. Here comes Kill Demo. Oh, jumps out of the vehicle. Fortunately, not running himself over. It's always so scary when you jump out of the side of the car that the car is rolling in. Here comes one more vehicle. The drive-by is put to full effect. Neck Pro taken out of the gun. No, the vehicle continues
What did you do?
Will he be able to get the flush? No, not able to get the flush in time. The vehicle rolled forward, but still granted him cover, and Gems will be taken down. Attack all around. Thought they were leaving somewhat early, but then we look at the time and go, guys, it's 8 minutes in. It's wait, Tears, don't. It's over, mate. Is he going to try and get the flush on the? That is optimistic. You were so far away, Tears. That is very optimistic.
I don't know why Gems wouldn't go for the second knock there as well.
I don't know. It's I mean, in all fairness for us, I mean, we heard Godspeed give Attack All Around a little bit of a hard time, saying they haven't really been showing up in the matches, and I don't disagree with him. I have been giving them a hard time myself as well, saying they need to be able to push that button that's called aggression and do something. They get circles, they get into positions where they can win games from, and sometimes they do win games, but they get 2 kills, or they die and then they have 3 kills. They need to do something, and here, well, at least they tried to do something. Speaking of that, let's see TSM trying to do something against 4AM. They're getting pulled off on. None of all of them are here, and Vod with the vehicle comes, says hello. We are here to take your compound away from you, and the first one goes down.
Xiaolu coming in from behind though. He's gonna find Wookie from that angle. TSM was not expecting someone to be all that far out. And right now, looks like he's finding Iron as well. They got to be careful here. They have no clue where Xiaolu will be coming in from. And looks like Forever and Crazy is still in the compound here. Forever actually finds Miracle as well.
Yeah, kills coming in both ways. Never what you want to see as a player. You just want to get the clean wipe and continue your day. But as we said, Circle could still hard shift towards the northwest, and that would make this compound pretty damn useful. We'll see Lou trying to peek over the backside. Ooh, nice tanks coming in towards Iroh. Saw him wrap around the building. I thought maybe we could get the knock from there, but not quite the case. They want to get over the backside. They want to be able to get a res on up, and Boogie Boogie for now will have to just stay put.
Look at Xiao Ludo going with a wrap here. That's going to be unexpected. He's not coming in with a bug. He wants to come in silent, making sure that he gets that flank going. And we get a new circle. It's going to center up, and basically it's going to be the northwest side, of course. It's not going to be Millie Island anymore. But this fight is still going on here. Xiao Lu gets knocked, actually, by Iroh. Iroh gets traded by Forever.
Good instant trade coming in there. It doesn't matter that you have a player knocked as long as you can do that. Solid hold from 4AM. It was TSM that pulled up, and they, despite getting the first knock, keep that in mind, end up being taken down. Now, does K7 know that Buriram are right here? I don't think Buriram is shot at all. And you can see Noatra is playing it extremely quiet. I don't think they have any clue that they just drove into Buriram's position.
I gotta say, this is not looking like the Buriram we know. The Buriram we know, they're loud, they like to fight, they would be super aggressive on this one. But are they gonna make this work? We're seeing them being passive here instead. They have the information that K7 has pulled up. He's gonna hear the buggy here as well, Nuandra, but he's not taking a peek. He doesn't want to expose himself yet. He knows that Lockstock is over there as well, and Savior. So he got a little bit of information being in that house. He doesn't want to make too much sound. Just handing over the information to the other and saying, hey, we got one over here, one just drove off. Now you guys do something about this. I'm just going to sit here and take a little bit of a chill pill.
And the thing is that they've already lost Edie, so why they send Gotmeow back to the other compound, I'm not quite sure. Now they're leaving. I mean, they had 3v3. They know that someone left. They saw him leave on the vehicle, and they go, great, now we have a 3v3. But they're essentially making that into a 2v3 now by Gotmeow go back towards the other side. I understand that he's trying to figure out where Buyuhu was going, but a little surprised to see him back off instead of them, as you said, maybe go on the aggressive here and try and force K7 out. But I don't know, K7 all of a sudden have started sitting extremely quiet as well, so maybe they're starting to realize there are people around. But Chow, solid shot, so it's actually going to be God Curry able to get the flush onto Svit, so attack all around again in trouble early on.
Yeah, we see Machado being a total beast on Destination as well. We haven't really seen too much here today from him, though, so still expecting him to show up a little bit bigger, showing up with some more kills. But currently, most of the teams are trying to set themselves up in this new circle, of course. We've seen that DA has moved across the bridge as well. You can see them down there on the minimap being by the gas station and the glass house right now. They're going to try to hold us down. You know, they don't need to push anywhere else. Meanwhile, Petrico Road is still on Sovsnaka Island. They're going to have a little bit of a trouble maybe coming through, because if they wait too long, it's going to be rough for them having the blue pushing them as well.
They very easily could end up in trouble. Janko tries to get a kill over the top. Rasput's going to be able to return damage on him, and I would be surprised if they have any clue that Jairus is here. Unless, of course, if he shot shooting. Now they know exactly where he is. And is he going to go down? Ooh, good tack coming in. Here comes Necro from behind, though. The entirety of Furia are pulling up on this. And this fight is just not coming to an end yet. Attack all around in Furia have been driving side by side down towards the south. And I believe it should be ending at some point real soon. Yep, there you go. Attack all around, all gone down. Furia gets themselves a 3-piece, as they should be able to wrap in from the west. Now let's see this circle. How bad can we make it for us? This bad.
Pretty bad. We can make it pretty bad.
A big beach, a forest you can't use for anything, and water. That is a great circle for us. Woo!
Yeah, I would say about 80 to 85% of this circle is unplayable, more or less. You're gonna find a nook or a cranny that you can hide in, maybe, but except from that, all you got is basically Fairy Pier and 2 compounds to play, and those compounds are totally occupied right now. I'll tell you that. So this is gonna be very interesting to see how the teams are gonna be playing it out. Wouldn't surprise me if we see some teams even going out on the pair itself and trying to play from there.
These circles just keep impressing, and not necessarily in the way that the players would have wanted. We'll see now. Finally, shots are fired. They don't know of each other's whereabouts. K7 trying to get the hell out of here, and understandably so. Oh, there's a rogue vehicle. Watch out, don't want to get run over. Noatra does manage to step aside. The Raging Bull runs straight past him, and will be able to stay put. But I like what K7 are doing, they're not just leaving. They're going. Okay, actually, as a matter of fact, they probably are leaving. I thought they were gonna. I thought they were gonna just wrap on the inside and try and hold them out, but nope. They're going up. They're healing up, and they're probably gonna be leaving now as well. DA they left, so Petrico will be out to cross on over, and DA they've actually gone down to the shore to play those small bunker fortifications down there. I like that play.
I like that they're trying something new, and this is what we kind of like with DA, right? Taking those secondary spots that no one else likes to play. But you got to remember, this is phase 3. Next phase, we're moving out. We're going to take away the water. That means if anything happens, best case scenario, they're going to be on the edge on the beach there.
And I don't necessarily think that's something they wouldn't want. So if they can stay on the south side, pushing in from here would be, in all honesty, pretty great for them. They get to push up towards Detonation Gaming. Right now, we'll see what Fury ends up doing here. But I don't think them sitting on the south side with no one behind them won't be that bad for them. We'll see now that the down 1 Kia. Oh, you had 3 in that vehicle. Don't make that 2 under. Does he get a real? Yes, he does get over the top. Finds the first one. What was that reaction? Great shooting from under, but there comes a drive-by from the side. Senon, the cavalry, arrives and saves the day because I could see a situation where Xavier actually had gone down there as well.
I am wondering. Under was all by himself out there. You see the rest of the teams are all the way over here just trying to hit some shots on K7, but they're so far away they couldn't even help him. I don't agree on that kind of split. This is what we see from Kia right now. They keep on losing players on splits like this, and then they just go down and play passive. We want to see them being more aggressive. We want to see them taking the smart fights, not playing like this.
I'm pretty convinced that Under was trying to peek towards the west and stay put. Now let's see the drive-by continue. How?
Wait, what?
Senon shoots Buyuhu. Xavier jumps out of the car and gets himself knocked. Guys, calm down. And you just lost 2 players because of that. What?
They lost 2 players for nothing. For nothing.
They
after
literally
winning
just
that
lost
fight.
2 players for absolutely no reason. One shoots his teammate in the back of the head. They probably both leaned out of the vehicle at the same time, trying to get kills, and the guy in the back shoots the guy in the front, and then someone fat fingers falls out of the vehicle, and now they died in 13th. That's a pull-up. That's a pull-up.
It was such a good push on Under in the first place.
They even got the kill. Yeah, they get the kill instantly, and then they kill themselves. That was, interesting. Sonics, they will fall in the end. Mime tried to push in, got tacked up, couldn't heal through the blue, and now here comes Petrico, full speed forward, up against infantry. Mamu somehow finds 9. Boliang down to low HP as well. Mamu is doing work right now, trying to push forward. Xiao Yang is on his own, and Mamu again. Elsa Solo finds 3, and infantry fall in 11th.
But there's no time to rest because Kia is coming in here as well. This is one of the few spots that are still playable in this circle, and we can see that the teams are gathering up on those spots. Kia coming in here, they saw everything happen. They saw everything go down and trying to find something with the nades. Not finding anything yet. Indigo finds Mamu though. Important player down there for them.
Him, takes him down. Mamu just got a 3-piece, so maybe good for them. They get him taken out early. Long and Mill are still on the other side. They lost Ike left earlier. Now Burram actually trying to cross over here as well. Could be a 3rd team joining the party. Would not make it easier for either of these two who are just trying to stay alive. As you said, in one of very few playable areas in the open of this circle. And the issue is, if we take a look at the forest that separates the north side compound and the beach down towards the south, you can only play that once the top side compound is out. And since it isn't, it's incredibly difficult to play. Kale finds a good one and got me out. Just one more play left alive. Blue is gonna take him. No, Kale actually able to hold him off. Gets a double kill for down 1 Kia. Burram out, and now here comes the fight escalated. Indigo over the top finds Long. Mill finds one in return. Mill able to get the flush as well. It's just him left alive. Wants to get the rest up on his teammate, but they know that he is close. Mill finds one more. Sean Yang goes down. It's just Kale now trying to hold off. Will he find him? Tags come in, able to get the flush on 1. He knows where Mill is, sees the nade, comes forward, backs off, has to reload. We'll see now if he can do some damage here. These guys are both using the terrain incredibly well. In the meantime, Meta are trying to push on this. I like the proactiveness from Meta. They want to leave Fairy Pier. They want to get across quickly, get on the other side, get the kill. Son Yang taken down. That's more points for Mill and Petrico. And now the 1v1 continues with Meta right next door.
it's been such a prolonged fight up here that Meta has been just sneaking up on them. And I mean, Mill shouldn't have garnered 2 knocks and flushes. There we go. Petrichor Road goes down to Meta Gaming, to Sparking actually coming in from the south. And Kale, he figures this out. He knows that Meta is close now because he knows that Petrichor Road is gone. So he's just going to try to run away, try to reset this whole fight. He doesn't want to fight the whole of Meta right now. He needs to find the first knock on Meta, if anything.
I really like how Meta is playing this one. They push 3 across, but they keep Wicked down towards the south to make sure that no team can do to them what they just did to the others.
Looking at Furia, they just doubled down here behind this rock with that vehicle. This is what we're talking about. There's nothing to play. That's why you see what we're seeing. It's just scrap. People are scrapping up, just going prone. Look at DA. They're just prone right now, getting shot by Detonation on the west side. Still a lot of teams outside the new circle as well that need to find a way inside here. Meta trying to take some control on the east side. They're still looking for Kale as well. Haven't really found him yet.
Well, the thing is, right now, all DA has to do is stay alive. Because right now they're getting shut out by Wicked. They're getting shut out by Detonation Gaming White. Ooh, Silson once again. I mean, what is it with Latam just fighting one another all the time? This time around, Meta finally wins it. The last 2 times it's been Furia killing off Meta, so they get a little bit of revenge. But right now, DA just has to survive, because the guys that are shooting at them right now are currently outside the circle. So if they just stay put for a little while longer, even though Mert goes down there, as long as they get the rest and they stay alive inside the circle, it will be Detonation Gaming White and Meta in trouble. Let's see now, GX here. They come full speed forward. Santo able to not get one. I thought he did, but he's going to go down instantly. Unfortunate for him, CC goes down as well. That's teammates running each other over. Not how you want to do pull-ups in the compounds, but happens. Trying to stay put, smoke off the angles and stay alive.
Hard cover is in high demand in a circle like this right now, and that's what we see GX pulling up to this compound. They do get Santo down there, and they have control over the glass house, but they're currently sharing this compound with 4AM on the northwest side and E36 on the east side. And on top of that, you have all the other teams that are fighting for nothing right now on the southern side. This is going to be interesting to see who's going to be surviving from this compound. Where will the circle go as well? There's so many question marks on this this game right now.
Yeah, I mean, if everyone, I think, except for 3 teams in the north, is hoping that this one just everything to exclude the compound. And at the same time, for the 3 teams in the compound, is just saying, please, if anything, just keep the compound inside the circle. But we'll see if the compound goes out. A lot of the forest is going to be playable all of a sudden. We'll see how it pans on out. And also, keep in mind, 4AM still has 3 players alive. I mean, Godspeed talked about them just needing 1 decent game to get up the leaderboard. And now they're sitting in 13th and 1 good game. Yes, 10 points, and they're sitting in 7th.
Yeah, we're gonna get ourselves a new circle, and look at that, it's gonna be just outside the compound. That is such a rough circle. Now all of those 3 teams are gonna be needing to fight it out in that compound. It's only gonna be 1 team that will survive it. There's no chance we'll see more than 1 team coming out from there. Meanwhile, Detonation is setting himself up here on the road, but they get peppered by Meta that has set himself up on the eastern side. Meta in total control here right now from the look of it.
Yeah, Meta played this one really well so far. Extremely smart pushes on their part, and it's interesting how they are a night and day team. Similar to what we saw with Infantry in the previous game. They just have not had those days in the finals where things have been going the way they would have wanted to. They're playing dominant right now. They're going out, they're taking control, and then you put them in weekly finals or you put them in survival matches, and they just change their playstyle completely. They play much more passive. They play, I don't want to say scared necessarily, but these nades on point, Silson. Final one will get the flush there as well. A lot of utility being used, but it's all pretty much it's all really having impact. All the nades doing damage, getting kills, and Machao is the only one left for the Nation Gaming Wide now. But no, I mean, to go back to Meta Gaming, it's just as if they thrive in servers where teams are more passive and they can go out and take control. But then you add just 1 or 2 more aggressive teams to the end game, and they fall apart. Sparking now with nades as well. Meta just found the last 3 kills, 4 kills to make that with nades. Will they find Crazy as well? Is it going to go far enough? No, it's going to be short, that one. But still, a 10-kill game for Meta Gaming. Incredible performance from them. Ever since they pushed from south up towards the north to take control of that hill, they have been on fire.
Metagaming is a team that thrives a lot when they have all 4 up towards the end, and this is the problem. As soon as they lose one player, they start playing way too passive, and that's what you want to see. Even if they would lose one, you want to see them keep on playing like this, because look at how beautiful it is to just watch this, how it goes down, how they're taking every fight with such confidence and basically just controlling the whole game. And right now, I mean, they're just dominating this. 80 points currently, 80 points. And we're talking about the bottom 16. We saw them last week in bottom 16 dominating that as well. But they need to get themselves these kind of games in their weekly survival.
Thought they could get in the vehicles and get away, but GX says, nah, it ain't gonna happen, guys. You forgot to put the smoke all the way up against the wall. But now, of course, speaking of meta, here they are again, continuing to do damage. Oh, did he see Crazy? He did not. No, Kale, you gotta hit those. You cannot whip those sprays. He's gonna go down because of it. I would assume 2 HP. He's not inside the circle yet, and Leo will find his foot. Down he goes. That is unfortunate.
GX on 9 kills as well. And currently, they have 2 up at least. One is knocked in the back there now. But look at Meta. Look at them. How they're trying to take control. And, they get the circle as well. This is Meta's game
Meta
to lose.
written all over it. Yeah, exactly. If they don't bring this one home, knowing how wounded all the other teams are, they just found 2 knocks in GX as well. If they don't bring this one home, then that's going to be them throwing one for sure. It should be very doable. They still have Sparking and Silson containing DA on the south side. They know they're out of the circle. Wicked finds one more. 13 kills. Sparking with 6 already. Ragnar doesn't have a kill yet. It's not to say that he hasn't had impact, because he's been out there covering with all of them. Ragnar has been, for the most part, tasked with keeping DA at bay, and they haven't made a whole lot of moves from that side of the circle yet. But he's continuing to do it. Very smart support playing. There you go. 2 more kills added to the list. 15 kills and counting. They're continuing the success that is this game right now. Ragnar, again, as you can see, trying to hold off DA on his own. Maybe now it's about time that one more comes over and joins the fun, because peeking 1v2 is never fun, especially against Code Marco and Mithralia. Sparking is here now, trying to help. They're peeking aggressively. They know where they have them, but they've both made it inside the circle. Final 2 teams left alive.
Final 2 teams. There goes one, and also only Code Marco left up right now. And it looks like he's going to have a rough time here. Wow. Yes, it's going to be Meta Gaming bringing home the chicken dinner with 17 kills in this game. What a phenomenal play from the whole team in this
kill win. Damn, Frost. That is an absolutely insane performance. It's something I have not seen from Meta in a long time. And yes, I have seen high kill games from them, but the way they took control on this one, the way they pushed out, the way they forced other teams to play to how they wanted to play, that is impressive. You can see 0 kills, guys. I got 0 kills. And that's just even more impressive, right? I mean, Ragnar, he's such a lovely guy. I've had the pleasure of meeting him a couple of times. Always smiling, always happy, always making jokes. He is the light and the joy of that team for sure. Every time we see them be down after a couple of bad games, he's the one jumping around, making jokes, patting them on the shoulder, saying, it's going to be all right, guys. Let's just go out and play, have a good time, and bring it back. And you need that guy on your team to bring it up when they've been down. And they have been down in this tournament. They have had periods where things just did not seem to work at all. But now things are truly looking to go the way of Meta.
A lot of times you do need someone like Ragnar being in the backline, holding out the other teams. He's basically enabling the others to be able to frag out on the other teams. But then taking home that 17 kill chicken dinner, that's the 3rd chicken dinner in 7 games we've seen from them here this weekend. I believe that's going to put them close to 100 points as well with that many kills. It's just unbelievable how well they've been playing this out. And I hope that they can continue with this, come in the upcoming weeks, of course, as well, because this is 2 weeks in a row we see them basically just owning this bottom 16, but they need to move that over to the weekly survival as well. Let's see what the desk have to say about this whole game and metagaming.
It's a meta weekend, it's a meta lobby, it's another meta win as they express complete and total and utter dominance over that hillside. And every kill, it seemed like, was going to them. I mean, Clover, where do you even start with that team and that performance right there?
I mean, as you said, they're starting to figure out the meta of this lobby, one could say, as they're looking absolutely superb. And we did see a little bit that shine for Ragnar showing off his 0 kills, but that didn't stop the rest of the team from putting in the work. And, credit where credit is due. Ragnar still was a big contribution to that win that Meta had. And I know that Godspeed as well had a lot of opinions on the way that they were coming in, as we were kind of talking about it while we were watching the game together.
Yeah, Godspeed. What do you got? I mean, is our own 0 kill carry? What do you got?
My biggest issue with okay, I was a little too on the mark. But Stills was out of control for me this game. Like, he was actually the MVP. Sparking is generally always the MVP, but Stills really came up. He had really nice nades. He also came in with some pretty good entries when they were first pushing the hill. So absolutely fantastically played by him. Petrichor also actually had some really nice moments in that game before Meta came up and absolutely helped run them over. But the thing that confused me was at the end of that game, Ragnaldinho actually rated his experience as just average. Is that because he only got 0 kills? I don't know. I noticed he didn't hit the smiley face.
He didn't hit the smiley face, but you always got to hit the smiley face. It's always smiley face, always GG. But you know what, Ragnar? It doesn't matter. Might have gotten 0 kills that time around, but your team is, I think we can safely say, securely in first place. Now, look, on the other side of the leaderboard, we got to talk about it. We got to touch it. We've 1 game left, man. One game, that's it. And you've got Bury Ram and Attack All Around that are sitting right down there. And I mean, to be fair, I mean, Interforce and maybe 4 AM could be at risk as well. It's close. Attack All Around though, Clover. What do you do? You got 1 game left.
You've got to find a way to get a point, and we saw this unfortunate little drive-bys in the early game for them that just didn't go their way. You've got to find something, right? Bury Ram right now 6 points ahead of Attack All Around. You've got to be thinking, can I at least get enough points to get ahead of Bury Ram? But that's gonna take them being proactive. We've seen them be close to fights and choose not to engage. They've pulled away. They've thought about safety. They've thought about, not really sticking their heads out of any compounds. And that's what's hurting them right now. That might work during the week when you really want to stay up late in the game and then focus on getting a chicken dinner once you're a healthy squad. But in this format, with the super settings, that is just not the game that Attack All Around needs to be playing.
Rough stuff, man. What do you think, Godspeed? Anything else to add?
This damage is just 4,000 damage for a team like Buram, who are super aggressive, is just not, those are not ideal stat lines for either one of those teams, to be completely honest. Most of their points are just off kills alone, and over an 8-game series, only getting around 10 to 15 kills as a team is, it's not a good look. It's not a good look at all.
Not a good look. Definitely a little bit sus, as it were. Damwon Kia, they're sitting there in 4th place overall, 50 points in the bag, and so they're feeling pretty comfy. They're going to be seeing a first day transition over once we get back to our weekly finals. Now, remember, everybody, we do have that show match coming up this week, taking a little bit of a break from the heavy stuff now, and transitioning over to something a little bit more fun. But hopefully, maybe that'll be enough time for these boys to figure out how to have fun again.
Yeah, dude, these poor guys need it, man. They've been through absolute hell. It's been crazy, this event so far.
I got a picture of them, that Woody Harrelson gif, just crying, wiping away the tears with the money, but look, they're doing all right so far as the money is concerned. But hey, you always want to try to keep on adding more to that. So obviously, we would love to see the 4 AM gang kind of kick things into gear again. Now, last game they finished in 4th place, 8 kills, or 4 kills rather, 8 points. And I know you were saying, Godspeed, that if that circle would have shifted hard to the north, you were liking them to win.
If it just shifted to the north at all, it didn't even need to be a hard shift. They just needed that compound to be in a little longer. The problem is one shift completely took not only them, but also I believe it was Gex that was right below them, and then Enterforce as well. There's 3 teams actually vying for that northwest compound. So yeah, any shift would have potentially given 4 AM that advantage, but nope, it was just clean play for Meta and the shift.
Any quick parting thoughts, Clover, before we head into this final game?
You know, I know we've been talking a lot about meta, but DA, they're starting to step up. Let's see if maybe they can come out with a win this time.
Let's see it. Let's see what's going to happen. We are in the final game of the day. Everybody's standings towards the next weekly finals is on the line. So to bring us home will be Toby and Froz. Gentlemen, take us away.
Thank you so much, Poro and Clover and Godspeed. I realized last game I just said Poro and Disc. This time I feel like both Clover and Godspeed deserves them. They're doing all kinds of great work with the analysis, and I think they brought up some good points with how some teams have been performing in this. And I mean, we kind of talked about it last game, right? For us, how meta they have had 2 times now where they play incredibly well in the bottom seat, and then nothing really happens once they make finals. I want to see this meta we just saw in this previous game in the finals.
I'm gonna be honest though, I'm a little bit disappointed on Meta's drop here right now. They are so far ahead right now. They could basically just shut someone down, making sure that they won't get into the early games, or make sure that someone that they're having trouble with, that they fight, it doesn't need to be here on area. It could be on Miramar, but you can basically just make sure that they have a bad game here in the last one. DA and the 4am, of course, they're gonna honk a little bit, but it's not gonna be more than that. No action going on. They are done fighting for that J compound. They don't want to do it anymore. There's nothing to win there, and they both realize that. And of course, we see the circle. The first circle is gonna pop. It's gonna be towards the western side with GX and Burham here towards Gatka Field. Gonna be centering up.
And I just want to say, I mean, we kind of, I mean, also, I mean, in all honesty, Ragnar made a joke about it himself too, about having 0 kills that game, right? And while yes, sometimes it is, I mean, if you have a chance to get a kill, you should be able to get one. But I feel like some players in PUBG function as, I guess you can say, a goalkeeper in football or soccer or whatever you want to call it, where your job is just not to go out and get the kills. You saw Ragnar in that situation. For a big portion of that game, he was the guy. I mean, he was the guy sitting and holding off a DA from being able to make it across. And he did a great job at that for the most part of the game. So while everyone else were out fighting, like third-party teams that were fighting, he was just tasked to sitting and holding them off. And the only reason he didn't get any kills was because, well, for the most part, DA didn't really do a whole lot. So just because a team gets 8 kills, or a football team gets 8 goals in a game, you can't say, but the goalkeeper is bad because he didn't get any goals. It's not his task. You could argue that it's because of Ragnar that they didn't lose players earlier on, because had he been looking for kills, he wouldn't have seen DA cross.
Yeah, some people would call him more of a support player. Some would call him more of an anchor player. We've seen that kind of play in other teams as well. I'll give you a good example is Sonics that a lot of people know about. Tingleton is usually the anchor player there. You'll see him holding other teams out from getting involved into a fight, while the rest of the team is going to be focusing on a fight against one team. And that's kind of what you want to have. You want to have someone make sure that, okay, you guys focus on that fight. I'll make sure your back is clear. You don't need to even bother about it. Unless I start panicking, that's when you start panicking, if I start panicking.
Exactly. And to all the NA fans who doesn't know anything about soccer, we can put it this way. It takes both a holder and a kicker to make a field goal. They're both equally important, because if the holder doesn't do his job, the kicker won't even get to kick the ball. So there you go. Yeah, I can bring up more sports analogies if you need. I don't know. I can't really come up with any right off the bat, but I'll think of some to people that don't know either of those 2 sports, and then we'll just keep on going all day. Too bad there's only 1 game left, so you won't get all the sports analogies in there.
Well, you still got lots of time to bring them in. I guess you could say that Ragnar was the defensive line, right? He was the defensive line.
Exactly.
You're not gonna expect them to make that goal happen, but once in a while they might do an interception, they might get that one, and they run all the way to the end line and get that touchdown. But this time it wasn't that time.
Not that time. Fortunately for Meta, it was their time though. 95 points in 7 games. That is, I mean, that's pretty terrifying. I mean, and for everyone else coming into the next weekly finals, which of course is postponed by a week because we get the little fun break in between now. But coming into the next portion of it, do you think other teams now are going to be playing differently around meta? Because teams have been. If you do this hard, you're yeah. Thank you for not Thank you for not taking him out in a window while you're driving away in a vehicle. That'd just be disgusting. But do you think other teams, because I feel like teams have been trying to maybe use use meta a little as a punching bag, and do you think they're going to be playing it differently now?
I don't know. Like, it's hard to tell, but Mert coming in here as well. A lot of people want to be around this up and down here. Wait, actually, DA looks like they're gonna try to pull up here.
Nah.
Neck will still have a pumpy. Okay, no, they're leaving.
Get away. No reason for you to sit around here. There's other compounds just fine for you to play around in this area. As I say that, you can see Sonic's actually now coming in and taking control of the south side. This is gonna mean that DA don't really have anything to play here at all. I'm liking that they're not just full on committing to something right now. They're kind of testing the waters. And while I say that, they are taking a lot of damage in the open. Code Marco, one more attack with that gun, and that should be him knocked in the middle of an open field, probably without a chance to get rest. As I say that, one does connect, but doesn't take him down. Code Marco is down to the likes of 1 or 2 HP right now, trying to get to safety. Get me somewhere where I can heal up. If you run a little further forward, you're gonna get a crate as well. So I guess that's the reward of risking everything. That you made it to the goal, you get a crate.
He's like, guys, I found a crate. No, but Meta being on 95 points right now, it's also knock-on effect of when you have the momentum going. It's so easy, you know. You keep the high spirit up in the team, and you just keep on going. No matter what you do, everything just feels right, and that's kind of a thing as well. If you hit like a rock bottom straight after this, it's super hard to come back from that as well. So hopefully they can just keep this up and coming into next week, of course. But right now, I want to see more from Buram and AAA. These two teams right now, they're sitting in the bottom. And if you look at it, this is the last game. You have nothing to lose rather than what? Either you're coming in last game or you're not playing at all. I want to see them being super aggressive, trying to get those points going, because if you're just going to play passive, it's not going to work in your favor. That's what we've seen so far in 7 games this weekend here.
One of the things to me is that, I mean, for DA right now, while playing, they don't see the leaderboard the same way that we do, for any viewers who wouldn't be aware of that. We have a 4-way tie at 35 points. Oh, speaking of DA, get to safety. You got yourself the Wookiee suit. You're in the open now, trying to push towards the compound, which is currently not taken by anyone. So if Code Marco can get there, he can be joyous with some hard cover for a while. He's going to try and make the run further forward, but 4AM is looking his way, and what better team to fight DA than 4AM? They are their kryptonite, and that's a pretty long run to have to make. Code Marco, is he going to try and get pulled up? And yes, he's coming for a vehicle. Try and see if he can pick up his teammate. Oop, there we go. It's a buggy, not the place you want to be sitting. For sure, we'll see. Now, can they get to safety? Will they be able to get safe? And yes, they will. But 4AM, they wrapped underneath. They read the book. They knew what they were trying to do. And they get the compound away from the great headshot coming. Unfortunately for Code Marco as a level 3 Western. Once again, while in the open, Code Marco lives to see another day.
So far, at least. And right now, we see Diamond Key on the north side trying to rotate in. Petrico Road on the south side, on the other hand. And it is very compressed in the middle towards Gatka Field and Chopsticks right now. That's where basically all the teams are. And it's quite interesting because a lot of them are doubling down on it will basically end there, and they're taking a position where they think is one of the hardest ones to get into if the circle ends towards them. True. That's why you want to be there early on, so you already have that spot. But if it goes away from you, you still want to be able to move out as well. And right now, with the first circle, it's a lot of possibilities, a lot of room to play with. So it's an important thing that you keep all the tires on the vehicle, park them safe. One of the most important things here.
For sure. And I think, I mean, just to go back and kind of finish off my point from before, the 35 4-way tie that we're seeing between 7th and 10th place right now, DA would have obviously known this coming into this game. So they know, guys, we just got to outlive. For right now, we got to outlive those guys. If we can outlive GX, Dead Nation Gaming White, and Furia in this match, and then start accumulating points, we'll be fine. And I think that's why DA aren't aggressing now the same way that maybe they normally would. Like, wouldn't be afraid to take kills. Right now, they're going, okay, we need to stay alive here. Because 1 point could technically give us 3 more games to play in the weekly survival.
Also, these are the teams that are that close to you. You'll put them in your mind right now. And as soon as you see them starting fighting and you know that that's going to be next to you, you're going to try to get involved into that one. Even if you only get one kill or a knock, that's gonna weaken that team, and that's gonna be your victory for that little fight itself. But we got ourselves a new circle. It's gonna center up more or less, and we're gonna have Everest in play. And we do know that 2 of the attack all around players are actually up there right now. So let's see if they can scout anything out while all the other teams are still trying to find a foothold into their circle here.
They can scout all they want, and I gotta say, if they scout and they find a compound that's not taken, I'd be impressed, because there isn't one. At least not right now. The teams are, of course, splitting in the center, but maybe they see something I don't. Maybe they pull up on something, and just as they get there, the team is leaving out. No, there are still some splits being put to use. TSM in a 2-way split, Sonics in a 2-way split, Burram still in a 3-way split, expecting to see that become a 2-way split at some point soon, and DA, of course, splitting on the east side of the circle too. DXG now in between everything. If they pull up on something here, Burram might be in trouble. They're already sitting down in 15th, and oh, here they come towards the dip. Konaxi, did he lob a nade already? He lobbed 2 nades actually already. Don't run towards them yourself. Finds the first one instantly. They get caught by surprise. First one goes down. Finds the second one as well, but goes down in the end of it. And that is the penalty. I said it. I saw them sit in the 3-way split.
They're coming in.
Get together. Here comes Burram. They're not afraid to take this fight. They come in. Noandra able to get one, but he's going to get taken down as well. Now there's just one more left alive. Edie is alone, and Burram paid the price.
Oh, that went south. It looked so good with the backup coming in, but them not fully engaging to it. I don't know why do we leave Eddie back there and not fully commit to it. If they fully committed to it, I'm pretty sure they would have won that fight. And that would have been such a good fight for him as well. Now, being down to 1, sitting on 15th place, this is going to be a rough one for Eddie to try to get as many points as possible, because right now they're 3 points away from E36 already as well. And that is going to be rough. They don't want to be down there. Remember, being on 15th place, that means you get 1 game to play in the next weekly survival.
We do not want to sit down here. In the meantime, Sinan just testing out the zeroing on his gun, maybe trying to figure out, and just to get it all dialed on in. As Jair is trying to go over and get a rest, will be able to do that despite being tacked. I think he realized that that shot came from pretty damn far away, and the odds are that I won't get killed even if I keep on running. So we'll be able to stay alive, but of course with that smoke thrown, that's going to allow for Damwon Kia to know that they are indeed still alive and around up here. But they use that time to back off, get themselves into a north side position, and play tight while we wait for the next circle to pop. And this next circle for us, I mean, if we go anywhere down towards those Gatka fields, there's going to be some crashing coming in, because there's just not enough playable areas for all these teams to stay alive.
Yeah, and we got a lot of 2-2 splits going on down there actually by the Gatka field. GX, you got Sonics, you got Petrichor Road, you got TSM. All of these teams are right now doing splits. And these splits, you got to be super quick on adjusting yourself, getting grouping together once the next circle hits, because that's when you're going to start seeing the team starting to crash, starting to breach your compound if, as we're saying, if it's going to be a Gatka circle, that is.
Yeah, we'll see. Just a few more seconds to go until we know where phase 3 goes. We've seen a crazy ton of hardships today. Will this be one of them? Are we going to send her up? Let's see. Somewhat send up towards the north, but we are excluding all of Chopsticks. We're excluding Pachinki, and for the most part, except for one building, we're excluding Gatka as well. So forcing teams now into the open and up towards Everest.
I'm not sure if this circle was better than I almost think that the Gatka circle would have been better than this one.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
This is really rough for the teams, and right now we're seeing a lot of teams, they're going to try to just get themselves into this circle as quick as possible. Try to get themselves somewhere to play from. This is going to be very rough. We're probably going to see a few teams trying to dive up on Everest and trying to get themselves up there and play from there, because that's not a bad spot right now. AAA, they got the good spot on Everest, the west side, which is where you want to be holding, because it's so much easier to push towards the east, having that high ground to play from.
But before they can do that, of course, they have to make sure that no more players are wrapping up on the west side. And that's where it becomes tricky, right? Because you have to hold off your side while also making sure that the side of the team that's on the other side of the hill don't opt to push towards you. It's very difficult to maintain full control up on that hillside once you've allowed another team up there already. Meta now trying to hold off here. There comes infantry. Full speed forward they go. They've had a good day today so far. And infantry instantly runs one over, but sparking all damage is coming into. They're taking casualties so quick in return. Xiao Jiang out of nowhere. No, that's your teammate. Don't shoot him. Out of nowhere, the last player alive, and Wicked and Sparking holding off as two, preventing anything from happening. Silson does fall, but they stand strong, stay tight, and Ragnar continues to have 0 kills.
That was a really good hold from Meta, actually. I didn't think it would go their way that quick, considering that they didn't get that first knock when Infantry was actually breaching it, but also Silson getting run over. In that kind of scenario, you want to keep yourself close to the door opening so you can basically have cover, you can get inside without getting yourself ran over. But it happens. It happens. In the end, they do wipe out Infantry, so it's a good hold, and then now Kevin getting out 99 points.
Let's see now, GX trying to make a stand here as Petrichor comes running around the side. Mammo finds Jan Lee. Will be able to get flushed as well. They do take one casualty. And oh no, just exactly can't get him back up. Trying to cover with the vehicle, but Mao Yi says nope, not gonna happen. Long does get taken down, and I think for Petrichor, I mean, maybe stop here for a second and scout forward, but they've got to keep moving. Only question is, where do they go? They just pulled up on one team. They lost one player, and now they're going to have to try and see if they can pull up on another. In the meantime, as I said before, attack all around, looking towards the west, trying to make sure no one else is pushing up in. Gem's actually able to spot one, and once again, what better than a fight between DA and 4AM?
They just prolonged the fight a little bit. They didn't want to fight at the start, but now this is where it's going to end for one of the teams. I'm pretty sure none of the teams are just going to be leaving without the other one being wiped out. And we see the new circle, and once again, it's going to move towards Everest, and both 4AM and DA are now outside the circle. Is DA actually backing off? Looks like they are going to try to back off. Is 4AM going to allow them to back off? That is the big question, though.
Well, we'll see. They are all outside the circle, as you said. It's just, I mean, for DA, if they don't take that fight to 4 AM, I don't see where they go in the circle. They could try, they could try and wrap underneath, but Sonic's already now full speed sending it forward in that direction. I think they're going to be seeing themselves beat to that position of the circle. Attack all around, still playing it passive, holding off here. Again, a situation where they could have tried to not necessarily run down the hill, that would be suicidal, but aggress a little bit forward, force into taking the fight, because right now, if they get to take this fight with the high ground advantage, they'd be in a great position to do so. Gems gotta get those knocks in there. Unfortunately, plenty of damage done, but can't find the knock that could have potentially started the engagement. They need to deal with this, because if Damwon Kia does anything to hold off the west, or if K7 starts pushing up, they're gonna be seeing so many teams nearby that they would want to have to deal with.
Yeah, and they're currently sitting on 16th place. They only have 15 points, 7 points away from Buram, which would only grant them 1 game in a weekly survival. So they gotta start pushing out E36. We do know that E36 is outside the next circle, of course, but they want to find this quick so they can continue focusing on the next fight and grab themselves more points. They need a lot of kills there. They're gonna need a good placement if they want to make sure that they get a few good games to the weekly survival.
We've talked about meta gaming all day long, and right now it's actually Fury on the kill feed all the time trying to do damage. Speaking of meta, here they come once more. Wicked with the nades gone down the hill. Sonic's trying to pull up below them, and they have been allowed to do just that. DA in the meantime managed to make their way towards the center of the circle. Long K from DXG finds his 5th kill as Mill goes down, and that's going to be Petrichor out in 15th. Now Svit, I saw him earlier down the hill. He had slowly been pushing his way in this direction. He finds himself 1. Jayers gets the flush on him as well. Now it's a 2. It's on his own down the hill, and Svit through the smoke finds one more. Great hold from attack all around. I'm looking at the map right now, looking towards K7, looking towards Damwon Kia. No one seems to want to try and punish attack all around for having wrapped to the west. Sylphia is alone with just a tree for cover. How long do you stay alive down here? It seems to me like Gems has perfect vision on you, and yes, there comes the kill.
There you go. We're losing a lot of teams here really quick. A lot of the teams are forced to fight because of this hard circle pushing right now, and AAA still 4 alive, get himself a few kills, 4 points for him. And as you can see right now, E36, Buram, they are out. AAA is sitting on 19 points to 16th place. They are trying to chase E36 right now with 7 more points. That will grant them 2 games at least.
That's some distance to trying to getting a flush. Unfortunately, Janko not able to find Wicked. It is going to be Mime that was pretty much across the entire circle trying to get that kill a few 700-800 meters away, but not going to happen. Janko not able to find it. Now, Lock Slut from K7 and the remaining K7 players have made their presence known here on the hillside. I thought they were going to push more aggressively earlier, but not quite the case. Here they are, though. A little late to the party, but they are here after all. They are in between a tackle around and Damwon Kia. So do they take the fight to tackle around? Do they try and continue wrapping around below? We'll see in just a short moment.
We see that Kia is actually trying to get a little bit of control there on the north and eastern side. Sonic's going out. Meanwhile, it's Ragnar finding Mime in the end there. And yeah, Sonic's had a pretty decent show, currently sitting on that third place. Probably being overtaken by Kia in just a few moments, actually right there. So yeah. Not too bad. We want to see Sonics perform to the level we saw him in the first week. That was just amazing to see, but we haven't seen really that performance coming out from them yet. Meanwhile, Furia here doing a really good job so far in this game, and they are trying to get a little bit more points, pushing themselves on the leaderboard.
Let's see, trying to wrap further into the circle. Want to get, as you said, further up the leaderboards, get as many games in as they possibly can in those weekly survival matches. Here comes a tackle around, though, 2 in a vehicle. Want to get Omen over the top, find himself a bit of car, and Raspu connects one more. Has 1 kill already. Jayers falls down. There should be no rest possible. And now Gems having come down the hill, trying to hold off here. Nice 6-6 spray with the barrel. That was under full control, and attack all around. I'm gonna go back in the tracks of what Godspeed was saying before. If you can do this, if you can spray like that, fight some more because you're damn good at it.
But they're fighting so many teams right now. They're fighting Division X Gaming as well as Furia, and I believe that K7 might be able to look above them as well. This is rough, only down to Svit right now. They haven't really reached the goal yet. They're still in that 16th place, and it's not looking good with the blue pushing as well. They got to go straight in here, Svit. He only got 3 first aid kits as well. Does have a few smokes though. Let's see how he's going to be using these.
Yeah, trying to get the first hit off. Should be able to get it off in time as well. I don't know where you're going in the wrong direction, Svit. Your smoke's going the other direction. Is he going to turn to 9 points while in last place? That's... Oh, maybe trying to get some more. Nope, not going to happen. Attack all around falls, which means they will also be missing out on the next week's weekly survival matches as they sit in 16th place. Just 20 points in the entirety of these last 8 games. We'll see now. Sinan over the top. He knows that he has K7 on the other side, but fortunately for K7, they are kind of looking his way, trying to make sure that no one's in. As I say that, no, they're not under, and Sean Yang are looking the completely other direction. TSM, 4 a.m. sharing the compound. They get themselves a gift of a circle towards them once more. DA in on the west side as well. Everyone else up the mountain has to push down, and while below, it's a whole other story. We have Detonation Gaming, Wide, and Meta down here. It's a tricky situation. 5 first aids.
5 first aids, but I don't think that's going to be enough for him to actually make it inside. He's trying to get a shot, but it's not going to work out. He gets tagged and gets knocked by the blue and taken out in the end there. K7 currently on a 7th place with 40 points after 8 games here now. We are down to 6 teams, and it's looking grim for some of the teams, but Kia, what are they going to do? They're still up on Everest, and but they still have 4 up together with TSM and 4AM as well.
Yeah, they should be able to push down this hill. The only thing is they're, I think, not necessarily waiting for, but hoping that 4AM and TSM will start fighting one another to make them, or at least give them a little bit more of a time gap to get down the hill. There are some rocks you can play down below, but it is overall on this east side pretty open. You can see the trees are there, but you can only cover yourself from so many angles. And when DA are still alive on the west side, they saw them earlier and got a knock on it, so they know there's people on their side as well. If you sit behind that tree, you're exposed to DA. If you're trying to hide from DA, you're exposed to the compound. Those trees only grant you so much cover, and that's why I really love seeing them taking the vehicles down as well, because they can grant you that extra bit of cover that you need trying to stay alive and like trying to stay out of view from all these teams.
Yeah, they want the other teams to fight each other, but this game so far has all been about LATAM teams. It's all about Furia, all about metagaming. They've racked up 17 of the kills. I don't want to see them fight each other. I want them to fight the other teams. I want them to just dominate all of them right now.
It wouldn't be today if it wasn't a fight between Furia and Metagaming. So far, it's 2-1 for Furia. Last game, Meta won that fight, and also After that, got himself a 17 kill win out of it. Oh, Sparking, you're on fire. Can you do some damage before you go down? No, not the case. Rusty finds one, but Ragnar instantly there to get him down in return. There goes your knock. Will you get a flush as well, Ragnar? Will you find yourself your first kill in 2 games? We'll see in just a short moment. And this is by no means meant as disrespect. It's just him making jokes of it himself, then I think we can do it too. Let's see Mert trying to stay alive, but not gonna happen. I like how Damwon Kia pushed down on this, and Indigo with the second nade, throw the nade forward, gets it right on point, and down goes DA. They will fall and end this one in 9th place, depending now, as I say that, on how TSM and 4AM play this one to the end. They could potentially surpass and get themselves a whole lot more games to play coming into next week with Survival.
Yeah, you can see on the left side of the screen, you have the total rankings that is live updated. And right now, Damwon Kia got the whole north side of the road. Depending on how the circle will go, if they get the circle, this might be real good. But no, it's not. It's going to go to the south. TSM and 4AM, they are liking this. They're loving what they're seeing right now. They don't need to fight each other yet. They can just take control over the situation, focus on the other team, and then they'll take care of each other later on.
This is the least Damwon Kia a circle could possibly be. They're finding themselves in the open. They would have to fight their way across. Either, I mean, you have 2 options here. Either you crash the compound or you full speed send it down to Furia. But look at this. I mean, 10 kills again. Double-digit kill game for Meta here. 108 points in 8 games. That is absolutely insane. No, that's the thing. They're not done yet. They're looking to be able to get possibly more placement points, maybe even more kill points as well. They're averaging over 13 points per game. It's complete and utter insanity for metagaming.
You gotta remember, Ragnar is sitting there with that Mark MK14 and level 3 gear as well. He's ready to take any fight. Long distance, short distance, he's ready. He's gonna want to take a few more, getting some more points. I mean, I think this is kind of the highest scoring we've seen in like one segment of rounds going in here.
We'll see now how things are gonna unfold. Necro is holding off. They know again that, I mean, as long as Damwon Kia doesn't push into the compound, that should be them potentially pushing towards the south side. They have the vehicle there. They have Smoking across under, has made his way over here as well. Now, here they come. There's a bit of a rich, as you can see, but Necro is right around the side. Spots one, doesn't go for the vehicle play. Oh, he's going to go down because of it. He saw one over the top, but he's not going to be able to get him. Indigo does manage to get down, but no. Ends up falling down immediately after. Now, Rusty finds the second with the Grosa in hand. There's just one more left alive. Under is over the top. The blue is closing on in, and they have to try and see if they can stay alive. Necro was down. He wants to get the rest up to his teammate, but will he win it? Grosa versus Beryl, both at full HP. Level 3 vest against level 3 vest. Who brings it home? The Beryl does! Under! What a spray! Gets the kill, stays alive, and that should potentially invite for this city, so much you can say compound, fight to start escalating.
Yeah, we see 2 solos and 2 teams with 4 people up. TSM, 4AM, still 4-man strong. And they've been both in this compound. And look at that. 4AM is on the roof of TSM's house right now, looking to find something, but they gotta be careful. Ragnar, he spotted him. He's just waiting for the right moment to strike here.
He is playing it very cautious. I mean, the more these guys can damage each other, the more collateral damage we see, the better off he's going to be. And now with Damwon's last player undergone down, he knows he has absolutely nothing to worry about from that west side. If these guys start really engaging one another, and he can push in, Ragnar that is, with a MK14 in hand and a level 3 helmet. Oh, as I say that, Crazy from the roof does spot him. That's so unfortunate. I guess Ragnar could maybe have played it even more passive and not looked up there, but he wanted to have at least a little bit of vision. He is going to go down in the end of it. Out he falls. Could have, again, thrown further down the hill, knowing that the circle was going to go down there, but not the case. 4AM now, on top of TSM, as you say. We'll see who wins this one.
Wookie right now being a basement dweller, being downstairs. Now, the rest of the team, I believe, is here on first floor. Yes, they are. They're pre-grouped up. They're going to try to make a move here. They got to be careful shooting at that player there going away with the vehicle. That was Forever in the vehicle, trying to get a new angle. That's really good play from Forever.
yeah, they know the game is going to end outside the compound, and now the final push comes in. They try to make their way out, but it's not going to happen. 3 down from TSM already in the blink of an eye, and down they go. 6 kills from 4am as they finally awake. They've been missing GodV, but finally they get things going regardless. It wasn't a heavy kill game, but they rotated wisely into the late game and bring home the final chicken dinner of the day.
4 a.m. They had been struggling a little bit today, but ending that last game with that win is going to be very crucial. Remember how close it was on the leaderboard. Coming into this game, they were sitting towards the bottom, and I believe they were on like 13th place. But that win, even if it was only 6 kills, that's going to be very crucial for them moving upwards, making sure they get a few more games into the next weekly survival.
Yeah, very, very, very nice. So as you said, it's going to bump them up leaderboards and give them a better chance. Now, we don't know if GodV is going to be back or not, and I think as Des said as well, it does look to some extent like a different team, and of course it will be when you're forcing different players to be joining in, but good game for them overall anyway. It gives them, as you said, more games to play in the next week, I should say, so it's weekly finals, and yeah, I think it's great for them, but I mean, again, regardless of this win, our eyes have got to be on Meta. Absolutely insane performance. Almost averaging 14 points per game. That is just utterly insane.
Yeah, totally insane. And Fury, of course, did a really great job here in the last game as well. I believe they had 11 kills. But that's going to be it for us today, Toby. So let's send it back to the desk and see how they're going to break down the whole day here.
Another weekly reseeding tournament and another dominant meta performance. This one even more impressive than the last, and it even topped off with the cherry on top. Ragnaldinho getting 3 kills himself. Gotta love to see it. Anyway, Clover, tell us about that last game. It looked a little bit like TSM got absolutely dumpstered.
You know, TSM 4 a.m. hanging out in those compounds, you could almost say that they were compound cursed because we hit to phase 7, and at that point in time, 4 a.m. had no kills. TSM only sat on 1. In fact, I think the only other kill that they got was by taking care of Ragnaldinho there at the end, but 4 a.m. getting fancy with the parkour, taking over 4 a.m.'s compounds, and you know, I mean, TSM, they really had nowhere to go. They kind of waited a little bit too late to push out of that compounds. And I think we were talking about it a bit when we were watching this game. Something just feels really off right now with TSM. They're not playing the game that we know they're capable of.
Well, they've got a little bit of time to figure things out here as the week progresses. But when we get back to the business of work, they will have one day, 5 games to try to figure out how to get themselves to this next weekly finals. But the story, Godspeed, has to be meta, doesn't it?
The story is indeed meta. They pretty much just took control of the entire lobby. Every play that they made was, I don't even think there was a single play I was like, I don't know if that's like the great. Like, they were just super proactive the entire time. They took smart fights. They made smart rotations. They were constantly in a position to capitalize on another team, you know, fighting or even just trying to crash them. I mean, they just played pretty immaculate PUBG. There's nothing else to say. Meta killed it this week, or this weekend, I should say, with the bottom 16.
Absolutely. Well, it got a little dicey towards the bottom of the leaderboard there for a second. Buriram losing 3 early, resting only on the shoulders of Edie, but he manages to survive and get a couple of kills, stay in it long enough to surmount Attack All Around, who actually had their second best game of the weekend, Clover, with 5 points.
It was unfortunate. We saw them up there on Everest for a while. You know, there's a couple teams around K7, and then finally coming back down from that, Furia was like, you know what? Hey, what's going on? We're not going to let you into the zone, and that's when things just went unfortunately unraveled for them. And, you know, I mean, you brought up Buriram. Edie was kind of awkward position, right? We saw him get in a car, try to send it, stay alive a little bit longer, and I think there was even one point when he finally went down, and Attack All Around was only 4 points behind Buriram at this point for that qualification. And we were even wondering, like, does Attack All Around find it in them? Can they get enough points to take over Buriram? But ultimately, it just didn't happen.
You know, I gotta say, if that circle had not shifted off to the east and kind of fallen on top of that 4 a.m. TSM compound over there in the ice creams, there's a very good shot that Attack All Around takes a fight with K7 over the top, maybe gets a couple of kills off of that, and finds themselves one spot ahead. So I mean, it was that close. It was that close, as all these games seem to be. Now, we are going to close out here soon, but Godspeed, you know, I was once a coach for you. Now I want you to be a coach for some of these teams. I want you to pick a team here. We're about to have a little bit of a week off here when we go into our you know, specialty weekend or week tournament. So what team that's kind of having a rough time right now would you say needs to kind of get back on track, and what would you tell them to do so?
I think if we're going to talk about a team, we might as well just talk about AAA and the fact that they just need to stop being hesitant and they need to be more proactive. That team is just they're very much kind of waiting and playing based off of the circle instead of based off of the teams and the positions around them and what they can use for really smart rotations. Like they're putting themselves in spots where they just get trapped. And that's a big issue for them. And I also really want to touch upon Meta real quick, even though we just praised them for how well they played. If you remember, last week they also got first place in the bottom 16, and they played 15 games, and they still weren't able to make it to the weekly finals. So even though they've had great back-to-back performances in the bottom 16, they really need to translate that to a win. Otherwise, it's kind of all for naught.
Yeah, we've got a little bit more practice getting wins after this weekend. Let's see if it holds up. Clover, I'll put the same question towards you. What team do you kind of have your eye on to kind of bolster their spirits, man? Give them a hype talk, pep talk.
It's me, Buriram, and I'm going to give them the opposite advice that Godspeed gave AAA. Buriram is playing way too aggressive. They're being way too fancy and flashy. I mean, sending a circle just full charge into chopsticks was not a smart play by any means, and you can just see that they got a little bit too much energy. Whenever they dial it back is when they seem to be more in control, and that's the Buriram that we need to see.
Need to relieve the pressure somehow, because doing those kind of plays, those high risk, high reward plays, that's the Buriram we've come to know and love, and we've seen them see so much success with it. For whatever reason, this weekend it just wasn't clicking for them. They're only going to have one game to kind of put that back together when we get back to our weekly finals, but if they can get a lot of work done during this kind of break week and kind of get back to thinking they were thinking in the first couple of weeks, I expect to see them back up to where we want them to be. Now, I would say, and I'm going to include myself in this one because I'm the host and I can do whatever I want. I'm going to say the same thing about Digital Athletics. I think that those guys are a phenomenal team, and I would say you need to keep doing what you're doing. And just have faith in the process, have trust in yourselves. You know what you do well as a team. This is what got you here. Don't start second guessing yourself now. Just hit that training ground, get back on top of your mechanics, and I think everything will work out just fine. Anyway, everybody in the chat, we've got 4 more games left to go a little bit later when we figure out who is going to take home our week 3 weekly finals. And I'll tell you right now, it is setting up to be an absolute barn burner. So make sure you stick around and hang out and watch those games. But that is going to do it for us here on the desk. I have been Porosaurus. Joining me once again has been Clover, and Godspeed on the cast. We're Toby and Froz. So thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next time.